took sandpaper and rubbed it until I got underneath the skin to where the tattoo ink is, and then I took a razor blade and cut it out.
I don't know where to start.
No, literally, what is
Everything
wrong
I've
with
ever
you?
learned about Billy has been against my will.
All right, we're back. It is the Pearl Harbor episode. It is December 7th, so that makes sense. That's the day Pearl Harbor was attacked on. We're going to get to some Pearl Harbor in a little bit. I want to check in with everybody, see how we're doing. Billy, you sent over a nice topic sheet this morning. I appreciated that.
It's beefy. A lot of topics.
You got a beefy sheet for sure. Billy, you are also preparing to go back to Uganda. When do you leave again?
Monday. So by the time we be recording, usually on Monday, I will be in the airport departing back to Uganda via Nairobi, where we will also be playing the next game of the African series of East African football, Uganda versus Kenya, a rematch that I think this time it will be live streamed. So hopefully everyone at home can see it. Check out for my Twitter next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday. Hopefully I'll have it in a pinned tweet where you guys can watch. But we're bringing reinforcements. We have some refs coming from the United States. We're going to be hosting a ref seminar of sorts in Uganda and in Nairobi. What's funny is that Nairobi's the closest direct flight to Uganda before we went through Egypt last time. So technically I will be playing the game on a layover, a very long layover in Nairobi. So going to Nairobi, then to Entebbe, Uganda, then flying back to Nairobi, and on a 24-hour layover, I will be playing a football game and then hopping on a plane.
That's pretty cool.
Knock on wood. Hopefully I am able-bodied enough to get on a plane physically.
Yeah, how's the leg doing?
Legs, it's weird because the type of fracture I have, which will never really heal, is just this floating dime-sized piece of bone that was ripped off by my ligaments from basically a super, super bad strain. It's just floating in there. And the not orthodontist, but orthopedist keeps calling me and like saying, come back. And I'm like, no, we're just going to Nairobi and going to get a dub, because they're telling me to go to physical therapy. But the thing about physical therapy is, like, if you own a stim machine and like some rubber bands, you can just look up all the exercises online and not have to like bill yourself and your insurance and just do the exercises yourself.
That's true. But the hard part is doing them and doing them all the time.
Yeah. Well, if you have discipline and grind, you'll get that work in.
Those are two adjectives I always think of when I think of Billy football.
Honestly, physically,
disciplined,
yeah.
And what? Grinder? Is that? You're a grinder? That's an adjective. Yeah. When I think Billy football, I think grinder.
Like physical stuff wise, yeah. I have time blindness, so tardiness also could be in there, and yeah.
Billy's time blind, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. It's tough to beat Uganda twice in a year, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you've seen their playbook, you know what they have to offer now.
We only got to make half the playbook.
Actually, this game is going to be an indictment or a credit to your coaching, Billy. Yeah. Because this is about adjustments that you're going to make from game 1 to game 2. So whoever makes the best adjustments, that's the team that's going to win. You guys are close enough in talent, close enough, and it looked like speed, size. This is all coming down to coaching now. So don't let Uganda down.
I mean, man, once the clips come out, I can't wait for the video to come out, because some of the stuff we encountered was wild. But we only used less than half the playbook, because there was a foot of mud in Uganda. We couldn't throw the ball at all. And we just, ran it between the tackles, and we were doing very, very well. The only thing that stopped us was cheating. But in Nairobi is a drier climate, and hopefully we're going to be able to air it out, because the Ugandans are like very good wide receivers. Like that's probably the top of their skill level. They have two great defensive linemen, decent outside linebackers, but they have more they have a lot of speed. They're faster than the Kenyans. The Kenyans are better marathon runners, but the Ugandans have some speedy dudes from this exact city called Fort Portal. And there's a bunch of these dudes who run definitely sub 4.7 at least. And if we get to air it out in Nairobi, we're gonna run up the score.
Stop, Billy. Stop.
After what the Kenyans did to us, and they did mudslides on the field after the win, we're gonna drop. We're not gonna stop. And then I'm gonna quickly get to the airport in case they want to get retribution on me, the Kenyans.
You're not gonna stop what?
Scoring.
Don't, Billy.
Well, you'd have to start.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I sent you guys the video of the defensive lineman kicking the ball out before we can snap it.
But Billy, I'm trying to help you out here. Don't say that we're going to run up the score on them when we haven't scored at all.
That wasn't our problem. Literally, they couldn't stop our offense using their defense.
I'd say that's a pretty big problem when you're playing.
It seems like it could have been a problem.
No, you'll see the tape. It was insane. You'll see my halftime
0
speech.
Points.
You'll see my halftime speech. They couldn't stop us.
You scored 0 points.
They stopped us, but not on the field of play.
Right.
You'll see.
Billy,
everyone thinks I'm making excuses, but you'll see. We were getting 5 yards every carry. The only time they stopped us when they were literally allowed to false start, kick the football before it could be snapped, or they just false started. And I was at quarterbacking on that play, and I was like, oh, they're gonna call false start, right? And I was like, oh, they're not blowing the fucking whistle? Oh, my God. And that was the only time we had a loss.
You scored 0 points, though, Billy.
It seems like if that was the case, you would have scored once.
No. Well, also the game was cut short because the person running the clock was just we had them on 4th and 30, once we figured out the down markers. And they were just halftime, they get the ball at the second half. And it was you guys, this sounds ridiculous what I'm saying, but it is that ridiculous, and that's why we bring the refs, and we're gonna whoop them.
Bulletin board material. Why is Kenya so good at marathons?
A mixture of altitude and lifestyle.
Okay.
You expound on that second one?
Just they have to travel great distances when it comes to some of their herding. The region where a lot of the marathon runners come from, I'm pretty sure, is mountainous, and the villages are very far spread, and there's a lot of traveling by foot.
So you have to run from town to town.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Well, Billy, we're rooting for you.
I mean, if we come back empty-handed, I might just never come back.
Yeah. If you don't score any points, you're kicked off the show.
Okay. Just the team, right? Not me personally.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to motivate him. Yeah. And I mean it. I can't have you calling yourself Billy Football and then going over to Africa and playing against teams that have not faced the level of competition that you claim to have played against and not scoring any points. I need some touchdowns out of your offense, Billy.
We will get there. Also, the Kenyans have a very established program. They have college. The Kenyans probably have the best historical program in East Africa. They beat up on the Rwandans, Democratic Republic of Congo.
I've always said that. I've always said Kenya had the most established program in East Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They have history. All the other programs.
For sure.
Yeah, Kenya's a blue blood.
People debate Rwanda and stuff like that, but there's no debate.
There's no debate.
Kenya is a
Rwanda did
American football.
Look at the banners.
Yeah.
Look at the trophy case.
They only hang championship banners. They don't do playoff appearances.
No. It's Uganda is like Lane Kiffin, and now everyone's giving all the accolades to Lane Kiffin, being like, "Oh, you're like the best football coach ever, bro. You're gonna be sick." Beat Nick Saban for me.
Uganda hangs a banner for 9-3.
Yeah, for bowl eligibility.
For scoring.
Yeah. So Billy, I need a win, but I really do need points because you're off the show if you don't score at all.
I know.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, we're giving him every resource. I've given some money to Billy to purchase equipment. Big Cat
Credit to you.
is also giving money to the cause to help with the team logistics and all that. And we've sank a lot of our own personal funds into this trip. So I'm as an owner, I guess I'm Billy's owner.
What would you say?
Patron of the art of football.
I demand accountability from my investment.
What would you say would be a good return on investment in terms of dollars spent per point? How many points would you like per dollar?
I think I'm like maybe 1,500 deep on this, 1,400 deep on this. I would like to have
$100 a point is decent.
No, I was going to say 50.
Okay.
I'd like to score 28 points.
Okay.
As an owner, that will make me happy. If I'm David Tepper and I'm looking at this team like he looks at the Panthers, brother, you're Frank Reich right now. I'm going to need to see some results, okay?
You are patrons of the art of football.
No, I'm a winner who demands accountability.
I'm going to be like Christopher Columbus when he came back and just got put in jail and died in jail because he wasn't able to return as much gold as the king and queen of Spain
Billy
wanted.
Sam Pittman. He's going into next season, on the hottest of seats.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Billy, though, we're having this conversation right now in the open.
I know.
Okay.
I'm
glad we're on the same
I'm
page.
just gonna start podcasting in Uganda. If it doesn't happen.
It'll be Billy and a gorilla doing a podcast together. I would actually listen to that podcast.
Oh,
I
had a conversation with a gorilla.
How'd that go?
Of course.
So you have to do this sound. So the gorilla video is dropping, but here's a little sneak peek. When the gorillas see tall people and like the people who live around the Bwindi impenetrable forest aren't that tall. So when the gorillas see tall people, they think it's a threat, and they start getting like very agitated, the silverbacks, and the females start like calling for the silverback. So you have to go make this like noise to them to show them that you're cool. You have to go, it's like more of like a just like a low, like that's just like I'm cool, like no problems. And the thing is, the example of this is if you look up now, Shaq talks about every time he goes to a zoo, the gorillas go nuts. Look it up. He said it on the Impulsive podcast. There's a video of him, like of a silverback, like going nuts against the cage when he's like walking next to it. It's insane. But like the silverback and the other gorillas did not like me, so I had to like crouch down and go.
Like showing deference to them.
Yes, I had to. In like no, don't look them in the eyes.
So you were a beta.
Of course I was a beta. I was in the Bwindi impenetrable forest. I was in around his women. I had to show him I was not a threat to steal any of his women.
So you don't think you could take a gorilla?
I'm gonna be honest. They were like a silverback gorilla, like broad as fuck, but like kind of built like Ronnie from Jersey Shore.
Is that a yes or no?
No.
Someone else on this show said they could beat up a wolf. So
I don't think I could beat up a gorilla.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Not even like a baby?
Like if the gorilla couldn't bite, and
I would be worried about the bites. You can bite.
Have you seen a gorilla's jaw?
Yeah, but I'd be more concerned with a gorilla just beating the fuck out of me.
Yeah, no, it would actually just like pound your head in.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a tough way to go.
They are kind of short though.
What I've heard from Billy is that Billy in the Bwindian impenetrable forest is the exact same as Billy in a hot yoga class, just refusing to look at their women.
Yes, exactly. Showing respect.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it, Billy. Score some fucking points.
That's
okay?
going to be a tough flight home if he does not score. I mean, we saw last time, and that wasn't even
0 points.
There was
right?
Well, I'm just saying, like Billy's reaction, and there were no real stakes.
No,
there was stakes. Like,
not your job.
No, but it meant more.
Billy's actually coaching for his job.
Literally.
Yeah. I like this.
One game for now we need to set some parameters. So what happens if they're down 48-0 with 2 minutes left and he kicks a bullshit field goal?
I need a touchdown.
Okay, I think that's fair.
No, wait. We have just come on. You said points.
You're bargaining for sad field goals?
No,
I want a touchdown.
All right.
Am I being unreasonable?
No.
No.
6
I'm like
points,
Iowa.
that's it.
I'm like the
They don't even
Iowa
have to
OC.
make the extra point.
No,
6 points.
just a touchdown. I don't think I'm being unreasonable, Billy.
No, you're not. Iowa. I'm on the Iowa OC contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
You need to average 6 points a game or you're gone.
In your next one game. All
So
right.
okay. Yeah.
Ideally, I'd like it to be 28 or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
All
let's
right.
start with one. Let's start with one touchdown, okay?
Okay.
What about defensive touchdowns?
No, I need the offense.
I play
to score a
defense
touchdown.
too. That's actually
Okay,
that might be a spoiler.
if you personally score a touchdown on defense, I'm going to count that as a
Okay.
touchdown for you.
What if
But
I lateral it?
No, you have
No,
to
what if I
score.
pick up the fumble and then lateral it to someone?
You have to score. So to be clear, it is 6 points or more scored by the offense or Billy on defense.
Billy personally scores a touchdown on defense. But Billy, I am willing to have the conversation with you. Maybe we can do something, bring you back on as a consultant. If you do lateral the ball back and then that guy scores, because I love a good lateral, love it, and I don't want to encourage selfish play. Billy, if you're going to get tackled and you have a guy on your team that's going to score, I want you to do that. So I will take that under advisement, but the rules are you personally have to score on defense, or your team gets an average of 6 points in your next one game
Perfect.
or more.
So we have to score 12 points.
No, if you
average-
score,
Next game.
Oh, just in the next game. Okay, cool.
yeah,
Perfect.
One touchdown, one offensive touchdown. That's it.
All right.
all right.
From the offense that couldn't be stopped to the tune of 0 points.
Dude, like
It's like the Commanders
you're
against
thinking
against the Cowboys, where their offense was great until they got to the 35-yard line, and then they couldn't do anything else. I think they had the most yards and like completed passes and passing yards of any team that's ever lost a game by that margin in like 50 years. That's what Billy is saying happened in Uganda.
No, what happened was when they can't stop you, so they just blitz and the Kenyan ref literally looks the other way and the ball doesn't get snapped and you just get sacked without the ball in your hand.
All right.
Put a little bit of stank on the word Kenyan there. That was a bit problematic.
This Kenyan. Do you like Kenyans, Billy?
I've been in contact with a lot of the
Yes or no?
Kenyan
Yeah, that's
higher
a-
ups.
Yeah, that's not.
This is a Harvard answer.
It is.
I'm
Yeah,
not a
yes
fan
or
of
no?
them on field within the 60 minutes running time I played them.
That's fine.
But outside of that, we had some beers after. We talked about growing the game in East Africa, stuff we can do, how Rwanda really needs to step up their funding of the game. How
More
the
NIL
DR
in Rwanda.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the collective like over there? I heard Burundi's got some good car dealerships and some local business owners that are trying to attract top talent. They got a few guys in the portal.
Yeah.
So many guys in the portal right now. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I think we have a big problem in regards to the portal, but that's another discussion.
I saw a quote from a college recruiter, an emphasis on the word recruiter, not coach, because he was complaining about how high school kids like
What
put
does
on
that
this
mean?
whole, like a lot of colleges like hire guys who just recruit and their whole job is to recruit.
like
right.
you mean like an analyst?
Recruiting coordinator, right? That's a position.
Yeah, but like a lot of coaches are on the road and they don't even coach on some of these big schools. Is that
I think you have to be a coach to go on the road. But anyway, continue.
like they're on the road looking at kids and not like
Yes, but they have recruiting staffs and stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, he's complaining about how high school kids are, they're so much harder to gauge. Like, they have, like, top 10 choices, and it's all for clicks and the social media, like, buzz around high school recruits. And then he's like, but you find a guy in the portal. He tells you what you want. He's straight about it. He's like, I want to go here. I'll come to you if you have me. And they're like much more straightforward. So he much rather deal with guys in the portal than new recruits. So
Did you say someone told you that?
I saw a tweet that said that.
Okay, because I saw the same tweet. I thought you said someone told you that.
I forget what I said, but
Am I crazy?
I may have said that, but I totally meant I saw a tweet. Let's not like.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
But like I can totally see how that works. But also, if your 100% job is recruiting, you should go out and recruit high school kids and not just like take the cheap way out and just go after guys in the portal. Because what's going to happen when all these high school
more
kids?
Expensive.
I think that more kids are going into the portal because it's got such a cool name.
It is good,
The
branded
portal.
well.
I'm stepping into the portal.
It's like you're time traveling.
Yeah, I've always wanted to step into a portal.
How do you enter the portal?
I think you just have to declare that you're entering the portal, right?
The school has to submit like paperwork and stuff, but yeah.
There's
the
got to
portal-
be
There should be a physical place.
There should
or
be
a
a
website.
you
Yeah.
should go
There should
to.
be a cool.
There is a website.
Oh, it's a
You
website.
can't access it, but coaches and stuff can.
Gotcha.
Is it cool? Like, does it have a good interface? That's what I want to know. I want to.
That's the whole
No.
point. It has like all the players and their phone numbers and stuff, so the coaches can call them.
I don't want it to have a good interface. I want it to be like 1996.
No. I want to have
like
a really cool
Craigslist?
video game
Like
interface.
Yeah.
Frank the Tank
Yeah,
Yeah.
old Craigslist vibes.
encyclopedia.
Yeah. Do people still use Craigslist?
Yeah, for
I bought some chickens off Craigslist about 2 years ago.
Oh my.
For certain things. I don't know if that's one of the certain things that Mad Dog was.
I
was
I
saying.
thought they got rid of those things.
The back
Oh, what-
pages.
Yeah,
That's
I think
different.
they
I mean-
a little while ago they axed that.
I think it's probably been like 5-7 years since I've been to Craigslist. Let's see.
No, dude, you can find a lot of great stuff on Craigslist, especially when it comes to animals.
I was looking for dogs on Craigslist recently, but they all seemed like scams.
Yeah.
So
yeah, my ex-boyfriend used to sell bunnies on Craigslist.
Yeah, see, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to just go to free. Let's check out the Chicago
I bought
free section.
3
Did you-
pullets on
Was that
Craigslist.
the couch?
No, wait, yeah, did you find that weird couch that you got bed bugs on?
Yeah, that
on
was in
Craigslist?
Austin. Yeah.
Was that Craigslist?
That was Craigslist.
Damn.
Free Christmas tree on Craigslist. A lot of IKEA. Free mattress. Not going to get that.
No.
Free yarn.
is yarn that expensive that we need?
It's large scale yarn. It's 1 inch.
Oh, that's some
Totally.
serious yarn.
It's some good yarn. There's some couches on here.
I feel like Facebook Marketplace has
Yeah.
probably replaced
I
Craigslist.
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
gonna say that.
A guinea pig.
Definitely
Guinea pig
has.
cage.
Ooh,
What's the difference between a guinea pig guinea pig cage and what you have for your hedgehog, Billy?
you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
Since when does Billy have a hedgehog?
Oh, Billy's had a hedgehog.
I've had a
Notre
hedgehog, dude. Do
Dame's?
you want to see him?
I've never seen or heard of
Wait,
the
I
hedgehog.
want to see him. Yeah.
Do you want to see?
What's his name? Notre Dame?
Yes, that's his stage
Isn't
name.
it?
Okay, go get the hedgehog.
Okay, well, he's sleeping.
You just asked if I wanted to see him.
He's sleeping. He might be a little grumpy.
Never
I'm gonna
wake
go
He'll
grab
up.
be all right.
Never wake up a sleeping hedgehog. It's rule 1.
Yeah. They have canines. They're not a rodent, so they don't have those incisors like a rodent. They have fangs. And they like are pretty predatory. They'll like take
All right,
down
walk
a baby
and talk.
mouse.
Go get the hedgehog.
Okay, I'm going to get it.
Stop stalling.
Free Christmas trees. I'm kind of into that.
Is it real or fake?
No, this is real.
Huh.
What kind of size we talking?
They look pretty big. They're from a farm, so
Do you have a real tree?
not yet.
You don't have a
Not
tree
yet. It's December 7th.
I know I haven't gotten it yet. I'm sorry.
Do you want my free 4-foot fake tree?
No, I want a real one. I'll go get one today.
You could get like a really tall one.
I've been busy.
What kind of ceilings we talking in your living room?
Living room ceilings are pretty tall. I think they're like 11 feet.
No way, they're taller than that.
You think so? Maybe 12?
I'd expect more than 11. But
I was gonna say 20, but
No,
I might,
no.
I might be off.
You know how tall 20 is? Like 2 stories.
15?
I think it's probably like 12.
Yeah, I mean they're tall.
Not to brag, just a fact. Yeah, Craigslist is still up and running. They have discussion forums. Let's go. Should we go to religion, travel, vegan?
Vegan.
these are looking about, yeah, probably 12 is about right. I'm looking at the inside of your house.
Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna check out the sports discussion forum
On Craigslist?
on Craigslist Chicago. All right, let's see here. Florida State, you got SCREWED. That's screwed. I don't care for any college football team in Florida, but you got screwed. You went 13-0. Alabama went 12-1, and they threw you under the bus. No championship game playoff. What the fuck? Not have these two teams play for this postseason. How could a 13-0 team not play over 12-1 record? The organization picked Alabama because the Alabama team will bring them more money. the teams doesn't pick who they're going to or want to play. It's the organization, and then they screw you.
First of all, agreed. Secondly, I love that guy is writing as if he is speaking to the team,
Yeah.
not about them.
Okay, so let's see here.
That's some really nice marble in your kitchen.
Thank you. I posted a few days back that if any other number 8 team beat a number 1, they move up 1, maybe 2 spots. But because it's Bama, zoom, up 4 spots. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think
that's not true.
If number 8 beats number 1, you can expect to see them in the top 4 almost every time, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Stop.
All right, this is a
Okay.
hedgehog.
What's up,
He's now
Nostradamus?
albino African pygmy hedgehog.
What's the white stuff?
That's his bedding that
Oh,
sticks to
okay.
his quills.
Smaller than I would have guessed.
Well,
He doesn't look like
he's
Sonic,
a dwarf
does it?
pygmy hedgehog. So
So cute.
hedgehogs, interesting creatures. They're not as cuddly as you'd like for a mammal, because they have quills all over them, and it makes them very hard to pick up because they will bundle into a ball. And the reason why I have him in a blanket is because it allows you to hold him. And he's got red eyes because he's albino.
Does he do any tricks?
No,
He looks bigger.
He's gotten pretty huge. On a steady diet of cat food. He only eats Friskies, and he likes insects.
What do you mean? He only eats Friskies, but he likes insects? Like he enjoys the company of insects?
No, he eats insects,
Oh, okay.
but like his stable diet is just Friskies, cat food.
Got it. So he doesn't do any tricks. He doesn't really cuddle. Why did you decide to get a hedgehog?
Because it's freaking cool.
Okay.
Does he have any like personality characteristics or?
Yeah. Yeah, he poops a lot. He
It
poops.
sounds like no.
Poops in your hand sometimes.
Yeah.
He likes to. He just poops.
He eats and poops and breathes.
Right.
He poops. He likes to get in a little ball. And
Oh, can you make him do that?
well, I have to scare him, which is just cruel. But
But like then I'd get to see him be in
So-
a ball.
this is him sniffing the mic. If you can hear that at home. A little ASMR for you folks at home.
Thank you for hearing it.
Little hedgehog ASMR.
PFT, the green tile in your bathroom. Do you
Yeah.
like that?
I
or
love
do-
it.
You do?
Yeah, I love it. I never thought I'd be a green tile guy. Not the choice I would have made, but it's a nice.
Love the rest of the bathroom. Green wouldn't be my first choice.
It wouldn't have been mine either, but it's like a dark green. And It's
Yeah.
very soothing and calming.
Yeah.
Nostradamus is about to die.
What?
Your hedgehog?
Yeah, they only live 4 to 6 years. So
How old?
He's about 3 now. So he's coming to the.
Are you gonna cry when he dies?
You know what? I like him. He's chill. He's very cute.
Yes or no?
Hedgehogs aren't the best pets. For all the people out there, if you're an advanced animal keeper like myself, recommend it. But if you're looking for something that's a small mammal, maybe a ferret or even a rat, because you can train them to do tricks. Hedgehogs are pretty stupid, and they run on a wheel all night. So if for any reason you need someone to sleep on the couch, they will hear the hedgehog run all night. They're prickly. They will prick you, and if you don't socialize them, they will bite you, especially strangers. So that's my little hedgehog pet review. But he's
So you-
chill.
Okay.
Great to
So
do once in a lifetime. Have a
You're
pet
an
hedgehog.
advanced animal keeper.
Yes.
What about your animal care makes it advanced?
My personal animal care.
Yeah.
I do pretty well with animals, with omnivores, carnivores, pet psychology, sort of get a feel of the animal. You know.
What kind of pet psychology have you used on Nostradamus the hedgehog?
Well, I realized he was very food motivated, smell motivated. Wasn't much behind that. It was just running on the wheel, food. So if you want him to go somewhere, you just put some food there. and he wasn't that good at predicting football games. So I'd give him a 6 out of 10. Most of it for novelty.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, RIP in advance to Nostradamus the Hedgehog.
Maybe his one and only appearance on this show.
Macrodosing curse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Shit.
Damn.
No,
Sooner.
that Jimmy Carter has lived long enough.
That's
that,
Yeah,
No,
he
but,
broke it.
but you know how the spouse thing works.
Yeah, but I mean,
He's gonna die of a broken
he's,
heart.
He's outlived our curse. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more curse.
So I'm back on Craigslist right now, reading more just of the sports free chat. A quick update from Monday's Macrodosing. Ron DeSantis has entered the fray.
Yep.
Some might say too little too late, like he should have done something beforehand.
I mean, he was gathering a team of high-powered lawyers. You can't do that in a day. He got it done in like 2 days.
I would say that he's doing this because Trump. Like Trump forced the issue on him.
And well, he's doing it. He's doing something.
Meatball Ron's playing defense right now. He is
No, he's playing offense. He's
No,
going after those motherfuckers.
but he's doing it because Trump already put him under the bus. Donald Trump put Ron DeSantis' ass in the jackpot on this one.
He could have already been getting those lawyers together.
So he's asking for $1 million from the state legislature. That seems like too round a number, doesn't it?
I mean, you just give him a nice round number to work with.
I don't know. I'd like to at least make me think that you've put a budget together and have it be 1.2 million.
If you
I'd
say
be more likely to
1.2,
give him.
it
1.2.
sounds like you know what we have done this.
Yes.
Detailed out. It's going to cost 1.19.
Yeah, he's just like, give me $1 million. Give me $1 million. He's going to sue Is he suing the college football playoff committee?
That's what it said. I don't really know like how that works. The college football playoff, I guess, exists as an organization. The committee itself doesn't really.
Yeah, the committee is like a shield to the playoff. So he said, this is a quote from DeSantis, my first grader, my fifth grader, and my preschooler, they're all Knowles, and they are big-time fans, and they do the tomahawk chop, and they were not happy, DeSantis said. We're going to set aside $1 million and let the chips fall where they may. That sounds like a good strategy.
What a justification. My preschooler likes doing the tomahawk chop.
Yeah,
So we're going to sue.
yeah.
Like, there are so many good arguments you could have used.
Yes.
Like, for why you're doing that. But it's that your preschool... the chop is fun. It's fun to do.
Yeah, so his strategy, though, is I now have $1 million, and we're going to see how this all shakes out.
Right.
Got $1 million to fight it, so we're going to fight it. My prediction, what do you think the chances of this lawsuit succeeding in any meaningful way are? Would you say they're above or below 0.01%?
Below, I would say the better hypothetical would be, does it ever get filed?
Yeah, that's a good
I would
question,
put
too.
that at a whatever percentage you want. I'd say there's a 10% chance.
Basically, what I think he's doing is he's engaging with some lawyers and having them draft up a bunch of letters, like a cease and desist letter, maybe a demand letter. I love demand letters. Anyone can send demand letters.
Nothing like a good demand.
Yeah, here's my demands. And then if you do not comply with these, we will be forced to consider filing lawsuits in the state courts. So my prediction, as well as Big T's, that lawsuit does not ever get filed. But at least Ron's doing something.
Yeah.
We should have done it beforehand, Ron.
He's out there on the front lines.
Should have done it beforehand, buddy.
I just saw the Orange Bowl canceled its press conference today with Mike Norvell and Kirby Smart. It'd be so awesome if Florida State was like, you know what? We're not playing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that, like, contractually and stuff like that, but it'd be awesome if they did.
It would be great.
But they have an opportunity to go beat one of the best teams in the country, and then you can claim a national championship. So go win the football game.
Go win it. Go win it. Claim it. You're undefeated.
They're going to get fucking killed.
But what if they don't?
They're going to get destroyed.
All right, so I'm thinking about making the biggest bet of my season on Alabama.
I've considered that as well.
And I was talking to Stu Feiner last night. Stu Feiner is a bit of a sports gambler himself. And he was telling me that most of the money, like I think 78% is coming in on Bama.
It's more than that now.
So that scares me.
I agree.
That terrifies me,
You know Dave's putting $1 million on Michigan.
I do know that, which is why I would never say this publicly.
Right.
But I'm going to put a lot of my own money on Alabama.
I've been on an absolute heater lately.
You've been on a heater, Billy?
Absolute heater.
What's your heater?
It all started on Thursday night where I hit a DK Metcalf touchdown and over receiving yards parlay and a CD Lamb touchdown. And then
Okay.
Sick.
I've been hitting some crazy parlays.
So who do you like in Michigan, Alabama?
I'm a parlay guy now, but you can't
Okay.
bet individual players in college. So
Can in Illinois.
I'm honestly, for Michigan Bama, I'm just gonna pick whoever's got the better odds on money line.
That would be Alabama.
But by game time, they might not be plus money.
Yeah, it might end up around even. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think I love Bama and Washington.
You like Washington? I like Texas.
I think so.
I think those are probably two square picks too. I think most people are in Texas.
We'll see.
So some other chit chat going on the Craigslist forums on sports. We're talking Thursday night football. We got Thursday night football tonight. Great game. Pats, Steelers, iconic franchises. Bailey Zappi and Mitch Trubisky. Two great historical teams that have won a lot of Super Bowls. Over-under is set at 30.5 points. This is from Uncle Joe Biden on Craigslist. Pats at Steelers has a nice ring to it. Puts you in mind of Brady and Big Ben. Then you remember it's Bailey Zappi against whoever replaced Kenny Pickett. Bad break for the Steelers. Lots of QBs going down lately. No matter how they try to tweak the rules, you can't make a rule against your own guys stepping on your ankle like what happened to Trevor Lawrence. It's a good point. I think about half the starting QBs from week one are still in there. I respect the hell out of people that just log on to Craigslist and fire these takes off into the ether.
Wait.
And nobody replies to them.
You can't buy animals on Craigslist anymore?
I think you can.
No, this is
I don't know.
bullshit. I'm not. They took away the livestock and pets.
Right.
What the fuck?
Can you give them away?
For I don't know. Speaking of sports gambling, did you see that woman say that sports gambling is why young men can't start families or buy houses?
Yeah, I saw that. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah. No. There's
I
no
think
truth
it probably
to that.
have more to do with the fact that $200,000 houses now cost $900,000 with 8% interest. But
Yeah, I mean,
go off.
like this. So this woman is her name was the Oracle of Wall Street because she historically predicted the 2008 housing crisis, and she's just like, dudes aren't having sex because they're getting too much pleasure from gambling, and that's why the U.S. housing market's bad because none of them are gonna have savings to buy houses because they're gambling so much. And it's like that. Like, you're the Oracle of Wall Street and you don't see the thousands of other factors that are like actually bad that are causing, like, think about this. Back when sports gambling was like much more popular, like now it's getting popular, but like back in the 1950s and 60s before like JFK passed the federal interstate, like the Anti-Gambling Act that in 1961 that became his like big headache later in life. Like,
I can think of another headache that he had.
that was the headache I was talking about because he went against the mob. So she like that back then they were gambling just as much, and home ownership was so much like higher than it is now. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Again, back to Big T's point though. In the 1950s, you could buy a house if you had like a
For $700.
entry level job.
Yeah,
Congrats, here's your house.
like she's talking about sports.
Also, you get a
gambling.
pension and you can retire when you're 55.
Yeah, but like you're blaming sports gambling, but you're not talking about like U.S. home values versus like wage growth.
I think there are too many oracles on Wall Street. Everybody's an oracle. I've heard that name thrown around to like 4 different people. The guy from Big Short, that guy that predicted the housing crash, that dude has been wrong like 4 times in a row. You know what? I'm going to take away his oracle status because he's been wrong a lot recently about impending crashes.
What a great movie, though.
Great, fantastic.
I watched it
movie.
again recently for the first time in years, and I was like, this movie rocks.
Yeah, it holds up big time.
That's how I discovered Mastodon.
Oh, the band?
Yeah,
Yeah, good band.
crazy band.
They rock. Yeah, so are guys they're not having sex because they're gambling.
It's the wildest thing. Like, you had two female pundits being like, men aren't starting families because of sports gambling. And it's like, hey, wait, isn't there like other stuff that's happening? Like,
I don't know who these women are, but
do
it
men
sounds
have
like
to start the families? And like, I thought we're equal to female reporters. Aren't like,
it sounds like the women are just like, they can't find a guy to sleep with. And they're like, it's because of sports gambling that I don't have a kid right now. It's actually not me.
yeah.
I will not say what I'm going to say. I will not say anything.
Say it.
I don't think she's that wrong.
Really?
Mackenzie. I don't think that's exactly it. Like, I don't think like guys are putting, over yards on Travis Kelce and all of a sudden that
It is hard to have
but
sex after a bad beat.
I think
I also think can I like my roundabout way of like thinking about this is like when I go out like with my guy friends like to a bar, no one is talking like on like a Saturday afternoon, college football Saturday. Boys aren't there to like socialize with other people. They're there to watch their bets.
Yeah, it's a fucking college football Saturday.
save that.
Exactly.
You talk
There
to
are
girls in the
13
spring.
of
That's
those-
mating season.
But they're also
There
there
are
to watch the game. So, like,
there's-
it wouldn't matter if they have bets or not.
You just described one of the 13 days a year where that's a thing. There are another 352 where you can socialize with people.
I just pointed out a random day. I'm just saying like
It's hard to ask us, too, I think, because we work at,
a gambling company.
Yeah.
1-800-GAMBLER
So-
if you have a problem. But like,
yeah, but so it's like we're around it so often that it's
Yeah.
like it's pretty normal. But
I will say dudes do care about their bets more than they care about their women.
that is true.
That might be fair. But if you win a bet, you're on cloud 9, and then you've got all the confidence in the world.
You've clearly never hit a 12-legger. Like, you're telling on yourself. You don't know what it
Also, I like when like men, like when men win their bets, they're extremely happier, and like sometimes they'll even like share it with you.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, let's go to dinner. I won this bet." I'm like,
Like,
I was
"Okay."
gonna say,
you
I've
don't-
never had a man like share a payout with me.
You don't know the rush of having the first 10 legs of a parlay hit, and then you have to like earlier this year, I had this exact situation. On my phone on the way home from the office, I was watching Indiana in overtime with Akron, and at the same time, JMU had been up 30 on Utah State,
Oh, yeah.
and they had blown the lead. So I got home and had to find what channel JMU Utah State was on as I'm watching overtime in Bloomington, Indiana. And it was on the Mountain West Sports Network, which I somehow have. And I had to find how to get to that through Amazon Prime, and both of them hit. And it was the best night ever. And y'all just don't know what that's
You
like.
ever
don't know
use
what it's
you
like.
ever use your bonus bet to bet on overtime on Monday Night Football, and then it goes to overtime, and you turn $5 of not your money into $90?
No, like I get it.
I
Because
get-
even just watching the clips, like my favorite clip ever from Barstool is when they bet on like the women's basketball game like 2 years ago. It was like Big Cat and Marty Mush, and like the genuine happiness that was like coming from them was in it. Like I wish I could
I don't think
experience that.
Yeah, it's like I don't think guys are worried about much else. Like I think that if their bets cash, they're happy. If their bets don't cash, they're sad. And I don't think they need a woman to like really sway those emotions.
But
for the
also,
most part.
why do men have to start the families? Like,
Well,
What
it's
are you
like a
trying
mutual.
to, Billy, what are you trying to say?
There's definitely both parties are needed to start the family. I think.
That's a good point.
But
I just find it crazy that these two pundits who are female, who are women in the workplace, are like taking these very sexist viewpoints.
Oh yeah. I saw a girl the other day on TikTok say, "For my ladies who sports gamble, this is the designer bag I bought with my parlay." Like there are girls who are
Facts.
sports gambling to get designer purchases, and I'm on board for that 1,000%. I think that I think obviously there's a lot of factors at play, but I do not think it's the craziest turnaround.
I think girls are doing too
boys
much
are-
Taylor Swift, and that's why they're not
Oh,
starting
okay,
families.
That's facts.
Okay, Billy. No,
You got to go to the concert, then you got to go see the movie of the concert that you went to. But now the movie's coming out on home release, so you have to
3 new
watch it
songs.
again, even though we already saw it
And
of
then-
the concert that we went to.
And then she releases albums, and then 5 years later, you have to
The
buy
album
the
again.
same album again.
And now it's not only the release of the re-album, It's the announcement that the album is going to be re-released that has already existed. They're freaking out right now. Do you know this?
Yeah.
They're like they're looking through like clocks and snakes to find. They think today. So as we're recording this, it's December 6th. There's a theory that tomorrow, December 7th, as you're listening to this, is going to be the day that she announces the new album. That's the old album. It's an ecosystem. I'll give Taylor Swift credit. It is the most brilliant marketing ecosystem I've ever seen devised by anyone.
Person of the year.
Person of the year. Yeah.
That's why.
And then you have to go see the movie of her being in concert, because guess what? There's going to be clues inside that movie about when you're going to be allowed to buy her next album, which is actually an old album.
Yep.
And then you have to buy that album so you can look inside at all the artwork to figure out when the next movie's going to come out.
And then everyone forgets about what the real December 7th is all about. The day that lived in infamy.
Wait, no, can I say something before that?
We don't have to transition to
about
that quickly, but...
No, but now, okay, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, if they stay together, like I hope and pray that they do, and they get married and have a family, that's when there's another baby
There'll be a boom, yeah.
There'll be a baby boom. This is not my take. I've seen this on other people talking about it. I agree. There will be a baby boom if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have children.
So women they're not having babies until Taylor tells them it's okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will not. I'll say right now, I will not have a child until Taylor Swift has a child.
Why?
Well, mainly probably because we're just on different timelines in life, but
it would probably work out that way anyway.
yeah, it's probably just going to work out like that.
But it has nothing to do with the fact that Taylor doesn't have a kid yet.
No, but I do think that I've seen this on like multiple people saying this, like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, if they get married and they have kids, there is going to be a like that's going to be the fantasy. That's going to be the dream family. And then you'll want to find your Travis Kelce or Taylor Swift. And you'll start a family.
I don't think there's any Travis Kelce fans being like, yo, I need to find my Taylor Swift.
Maybe there is. Don't you want to find a billionaire to latch yourself onto? Like, wouldn't that be nice to have a billionaire girlfriend?
Yeah, it would also be a kind of a headache.
But if you're Travis Kelce, I'm not.
Imagine she tries to pay.
So mad, but...
What?
What, Billy?
Also, she discovered football.
Yeah, she said she loves football.
That was funny.
Yeah, she was like, I just discovered football. Was that the quote? I just discovered football.
Taylor Swift discovers football.
I know.
Like
I was
Columbus.
like, no, there's been indigenous people here.
I'm an indigenous football fan. I've been a fan for years, and then you just land on we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Right.
As football fans.
I mean, think about how many young women she's brought to football in the past 3 months.
If she has a baby, are there going to be like high school girls that want to have babies too?
Ooh, that
could be a problem.
Scary.
That might be problematic.
I don't want another teen mom boom. I don't think we need that. I respect all of them, but I think it's best if we don't have that. I don't think so though, because she wasn't a teen mom.
Yeah, true.
I think they'll
aspire to be like that when they're
someday.
older.
Mm-hmm. Was there ever a teen mom boom?
Yeah, when Teen Mom came out.
I have a story about Teen Mom. I don't know if I want to keep it in the podcast or not.
Wait, what?
There was a girl in college my freshman year I really liked.
Shut up.
I didn't know that she liked me, but we were hanging out one night, having some drinks. She started to hit on me, and it was very clear she was interested. I was like, oh, shit. This is happening. This is awesome. We're watching Teen Mom, though. And she's like, PFT, let's go back to the bedroom. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is awesome. And then she was like, do you have a condom? And I was like, no, I don't. And she's like, that's fine, you don't need one. And I was like, fuck. I've just been watching Teen Mom all night, thinking about like 18, 19-year-olds having babies and their lives are just destroyed. I'm 18 years old, and I didn't do it.
What year was your freshman year at college?
I didn't do it. 2003.
That show came out in 2009.
It could have been True Life, I'm a Teen Mom.
Oh, was there one before that?
Yeah, so a lot of those shows started based off True Life episodes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that there was a True Life, I'm a Teen Mom then.
Okay, because 16 and pregnant was a little bit before that, but it still wasn't. This says 2009 for 16 and pregnant too, but I feel like that was out for several years before Teen Mom, because that's where they got the girls from, right? They were on 16 and pregnant.
I'm a Teen Mom. Let's see. True Life, I'm a Teen Mom. There was definitely like a Teen Mom show. It might not have been called Teen Mom, but there was definitely.
So you declined to hit.
I declined to smash. And then the next weekend, she found a different guy. And
Did she get pregnant?
Never got a chance. No, she didn't get pregnant.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
It was
I
like
thought
the girl
that
on
was
the
gonna be
show.
Yeah, I thought it was either gonna be she ended up on the show or she got pregnant.
No, it's just like
Yeah.
I didn't fuck because I got in my head about
Right.
about watching Teen Mom. I'm
Bro really let MTV stop him from hitting. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's why people aren't having babies anymore. Is because in 2003 the reality shows were too stressful for guys.
Yeah, or the Pregnancy Pact. That was a movie. Like in like the 2008 recession area, there was a lot of teen mom media coming out,
Yeah,
and I think that was a big boom of it.
Let me say, Teen Mom has a 3.6 out of 10 on IMDb. That is bullshit.
that sounds too low.
That show was so good.
That sounds way too low. I had a friend, Hard Factor Wes. He does the Hard Factor podcast with the Beeve and Will and Borgie. He was on this one VH1 reality show called Dad Camp, and they filmed it in like 2009, I think, 2008. It's probably 2009, 2010. And he got his girlfriend pregnant, and they were doing this show where it's like, we're going to teach these young men how to actually become fathers. And everybody on the show was like 19 years old, and then Wes was 27.
Oh my god!
They're like, dude, you need to get your act together. Like, what's the matter? Everybody.
This is
else,
a very normal age to have children.
yeah. Everyone else was like just right out of high school or dropped out of high school. And when they were filming the show, they came to the house because I lived in a house with some of my boys, and then Wes came over. They're like, they need to show that like I'm not ready to be a father. So we're just going to have a party. So the reason why Wes was not ready to be a father was because he was playing beer pong against me.
Love that.
So were you on the show too?
I might have been in the background for like
Yeah.
half a second. They used maybe like 5 seconds of footage from that party. And it was basically Wes just drinking beer. They're like, this guy's not ready to be a dad yet. He drinks beer. Yeah.
That's funny.
Wait, so you were at 27 still living with your boys?
No, I was not 27. Wes, and he might have been 26 when he was on the show. I think I was like 24, 25. Yeah, living
That
with the
rocks.
boys. It did rock.
There's nothing like just college, like living with your boys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there needs to be a halfway home for dudes after college.
There is. It's called Hoboken.
That's true,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, just like, let's run it back, except no classes.
Love that.
Yeah,
my
work.
roommate in college, who's now one of my best friends, just never went to class to begin with.
Yeah.
And so he just had the life. I would be getting ready to go to class, and he'd be like, "You want to play the show when you get back?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Are you going to class?" Like, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
So he would just hang out, play video games till I got back, and then we'd play video games. And then in the living room, we had a 3 TV set up. So every night we would have the Braves on one TV. He was a Red Sox fan, so we had the Red Sox on the other. And then the third, we would play video games or watch Jeopardy when Jeopardy came on.
Did he graduate?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Jeopardy rocks.
Jeopardy's every night in college we watched Jeopardy.
Like the standard one?
Yeah.
Regulation
Well,
Jeopardy?
whatever was on that week. If it was Celebrity Jeopardy sucks because it's too easy.
Mhm.
Same with like the college one.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously 90% of the time it's just regular. So yeah.
Yeah.
Every night was Jeopardy, Braves, Red Sox, video games. Repeat the next day.
That does sound incredible.
Yep.
Then
Then like
that's
during
heaven.
football season, obviously football,
That is heaven.
Yep.
Man.
Nothing
right.
like living with the boys.
Nothing like it. Well, we're going to get into some other stuff in a second, but it's brought to you by Sport Clips. Your hair might grow fast, but after going to Sport Clips haircuts, you're going to wish that it grew even faster. That's because Sport Clips has the best seat in hair. That may or may not be because the seats happen to be in front of giant TVs playing sports all day, every day. It's a nice little vacation. You go out there, get your hair cut, get the MVP experience, the hot steam towel, get the massaging shampoo. They got it all at
Got
Sport
this
Clips.
the other day.
Did you?
Yep, MVP.
Was it wonderful?
It's amazing.
The hot steam towel is great.
It's so good. And I tell them heat it up a little more, like more than you think you need to. Right on the verge of like, I think this is going to be too hot. That's how I want it.
I love that. Sport Clips, you can check in with pros and men's hair. You can totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. So, yeah, come watch an endless stream of sports on TV while getting an awesome haircut. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. I am about to hop on in a couple hours the live stream. If you're listening to this right now, Max and Hank are doing the live stream as punishment for Mount Rushmore season. 24 hours in a room together. And I'm going to be getting a tattoo during the live stream. I'm going to be a tattoo guy. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it. I've always wanted to be a tattoo guy, but I've never really had an excuse to do it. Never really had any pattern that I wanted or design that I wanted. So I just got right now the design sent to me. And I don't know. You guys, no one here has tattoos, right?
No.
That's weird. I feel like this is a pretty large group of people for Barstool Sports to all have in a room together that don't have tattoos.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's I got a tattoo once. I got rid of it though.
Oh yeah, Billy got a tattoo. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then I literally took some sandpaper. It was on my heel. I took sandpaper and rubbed it until I got underneath the skin to where the tattoo ink is, and then I took a razor blade and cut it out.
I don't know where to start.
No, literally, what is
Everything
wrong
I've
with
ever
you?
learned
didn't
about
want a
Billy has been
tattoo.
against my will.
I didn't want the tattoo.
Wait, when did you get a tattoo?
It was for
like,
it was
lowering the bar.
Yeah, it was for lowering the bar, and I never
probably
wanted a
could've said
tattoo in my
no.
life.
You definitely could have said no.
It's like no, then I would have lost the game, and it was the one I literally.
Oh, it was like the competition
So
one.
this is why I was so pissed at Tommy when he got me eliminated in the first round of Most Dangerous Game, was because I lost to him in lowering the bar and I got a fucking tattoo.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
Wait, PFT, do you want to say what you're getting? Are you allowed to?
Yeah, I'll say what I'm getting. So it was a design that my dad made. So my dad got really into designing labyrinths, not mazes that you walk through or anything, but they're these patterns that you can trace them with your finger and go through the loops with your finger. But yeah, he designed a bunch of them, and so I'm going to get one of those put on my forearm. So I'm excited about it, and I might become a
That's really
tattoo guy.
I could definitely see you.
Yeah,
becoming a
I'm
tattoo
kind
guy.
of surprised you're not.
I know
already.
I know, me too. But I think this is going to be the one that starts it all.
How big is it going to be?
Like the size of a tennis ball, I think, on my forearm.
That's a good
Is it
one.
going to hurt?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta get on
If
a
you're
meaty
a fucking
part.
man.
that's right. I'm a fucking man,
Yeah.
Big T. I'm a real fucking man.
I would be interested to see, I think PFT with the sleeve, I think it's kind of how I think about you in my head.
Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing a plaid half sleeve. I've never seen a plaid tattoo before. I think it'd look cool.
The thing with colored tattoos is they always fade badly.
Yeah. So if you have any advice on me for how to get through my first tattoo, besides just be a fucking man, let me know.
Can you have a 3 cheat? Is that, or would that hurt your arm?
No, I'm not
Or
gonna,
would that fuck it
because
up?
I've got podcasts and stuff to record tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be high when I do it. I want to feel it, you know.
You know what would be a sick tattoo if you're a real football guy? Do you remember 2010, 11, 12, the Nike Pro Combat uniforms for college football?
Mm-hmm.
And they would have the undershirts that went down to your elbow and they had a specific design on them or whatever.
Yeah.
Just get that as a tattoo on both arms.
That would be
Tennessee was Adidas at the time, but Adidas copied it and they had a checkerboard
Yeah.
undershirt. If I got a checkerboard all the way down both biceps.
What about those sweatbands that went around your arm?
Yeah.
Like Jamal Adams used to have a bunch of them. There were a bunch of players that had.
That was the thing before wearing 6 mouthpieces.
Yes, all the sweatbands. I thought the sweatbands were cooler than mouthpieces. Oh, Billy, by the way, bring an extra mouthpiece to put on your captain. Your captain should have some drip.
Yeah, well, I got a bunch of the ones that hang from the face masks, so we can
All right,
give him
sick.
an extra one.
I want them looking good and feeling good, playing good.
I don't remember if you're who sent this. I forget where I saw it, but did you see the guy who had 3,
Yeah.
2 off the face mask and 1 in the top of his helmet just as an accessory?
Yeah, I sent that to the group chat. It was the punt returner from Georgia. He had one. It was one in his mouth. He had a red one in his mouth. I think he had a white one dangling, and then he had a third one stuck in the ear hole of his face mask, which is, you got to wear 4. If you're gonna put it in one, you got to have it in the other.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the guys who do that might be guys who don't like wearing face masks. I mean, don't like wearing mouthpieces, because
So
then
they
the
get
ref,
more of them?
yeah, so the ref can't tell which one's in, which one's out. So if there's one out all the time, they won't get a penalty for not wearing a mouthpiece.
Maybe. I think it's just to look cool.
Okay, but then that doesn't explain the one in the top of the helmet. That's purely for accessory.
Yeah. Are these guys do they also have grills?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, I mean, I get the whole swag part of it, but like I'm trying to think if there's something deeper.
I don't think you shouldn't think too hard about that one. They just want to look cool. But yeah, maybe I'll get like a sleeve. Maybe I'll get an earring. Maybe I'll just turn it into guys don't do earrings anymore. That was real big when I was going up through high school.
Also surprised you don't have an earring from high school, but no, I don't think you need an earring.
Yeah.
Tattoo, the tattoo, and then we go from there.
Then we'll go from there. We'll see how that works.
Maybe a bracelet.
I was a bracelet guy for a while.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I had some sick bracelets. I don't know what happened to them.
Do y'all remember silly bands?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you wouldn't. This was a 2007-8 thing. I was the fucking king of silly bands.
What are silly bands?
Silly bands were rubber bands that were in different shapes. Like there were, animals and, anything you
You
can
were a
think of.
silly bands guy, and
Oh,
No, that tracks.
Bro, and
That tracks.
Nike Elite socks. I was first
That I
on
can
Nike
understand.
Elite socks. I had Elites that nobody else had. Nike Elite socks and silly bands. I was the king.
I love silly.
So you were rocking like dinosaurs on your wrist?
Yeah, but
I never really
Dude.
wore them.
I did.
I collected them.
did you like flip them to chicks who we would wear them?
I don't recall running a business. I like to have them just to hoard.
I would wear them like because they don't really look like anything when they're on your wrist because they're like expanded. But oh yeah, there was businesses running at my school about them.
So you put them on your wrist and it loses the shape, and then you take it off your wrist and boom, it's a turtle.
Dude, they were the
Correct.
stupidest things on earth. I thought Big T was like all business, no funny business. That's the most funny business
Yeah, dude,
shit out there.
I'm 26. This is when I was 10.
I expected
Silly business.
you to be all business when you were 10.
You were in silly business, Big T.
That was the Nike Elites and fighting necklaces. Billy, do you know about the fightins?
Yes, the fighting.
So fighting necklaces, I had probably 4 or 5 as well.
Those are my favorites because there was one postseason where just every baseball player had
Cliff
a fighting
Lee and I think it was Cliff Lee is the guy who really started it, and then a lot of the pitchers started wearing them, and then I believed they made me like a superhero.
Well, did you
Make you
guys know
strong.
the sales trick they would use in malls? You know
Yeah.
how they'd sometimes do demos?
Yeah.
And like the first time they would do it, they'd make you stand on one foot and put your hands out. And they say, okay, this time you're not wearing the necklace. Then they push your shoulder in a certain way that you automatically fall over. And then the second time they put the bracelet on you and they put their hand farther out on your arm and push your arm down, and your arm just goes down and you maintain your balance. But the whole difference is like how close it is to your center of gravity. But they're like, you were wearing the necklace. That's why you didn't fall over this time.
I believed in them.
They just looked cool as fuck.
My brother had so many of those.
I had the braided, twisted ones.
Yeah,
I had
the ball player one.
everything.
The ball players.
Yep.
Baseball players are very easy to sell tricks like that too. They're the most superstitious athletes by far, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe a hockey player, but yeah, baseball players. It's like you get in your routine. I mean, Wade Boggs had the best routine of all time. He would eat the same meal every day.
And then just slam 20 beers on the flight to wherever they were going
Yep.
next.
Yeah, he'd just have chicken before the game, and then he'd drink 20 beers.
That's
after.
back when baseball players were men.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wade Boggs on the way back from Kenya.
You're going to go full
Goodness.
Boggs?
I'm gonna go full Boggs with Donnie.
Win or lose, Billy Booze.
You should go Boggs with a Borg.
No, dude. The
Oh.
Borg thing was we thought that mixing vodka with like Gatorade and stuff that's supposed to rehydrate you was gonna not give you a hangover for conditioning tests the next day.
Makes sense.
We should come up with some sort of, I don't know if this is problematic, some sort of drinking game for Bill. So if they lose,
Yeah.
like he has to drink a certain amount of beers per point lost or something.
Yeah,
Is
on
that-
the
is
flight.
that-
Yeah, on the flight.
yeah.
I like that.
For
He
my
has to go
job.
Bogs. He has to go Bogs on the flight.
Well, you wouldn't. You have to score to keep your job, but then if you score and lose and you maintain your job, like 5 beers per point that they lose or something.
I'll just say 1 beer per point. How long is the flight?
It's 16 hours.
Oh, so that's a long flight. So maybe
Last time they lost by 14. 2. I think 2 is good.
I don't know if Billy couldn't drink 28 beers on a flight.
I was gonna say 5.
5 beers per point.
Yeah.
That'd be. I said that originally, but that'd be a lot.
I'll just say 1 beer per point.
Sweet.
Are you expecting a blowout?
I'm rooting for a 35-0 shut piece.
Oh no.
Shut piece. You're gonna get shut pieced, Billy.
There's a lot riding on this game.
Also, you have to vlog the beer drinking too, if that happens.
Well, now we're in dangerous territory where Billy is now considering throwing the game.
Yeah.
Well, but then he wouldn't have a job.
That's
so.
true. Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait to get back to Uganda. There's something about the air out there. Like, you just have so much more energy.
You guys wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, that East African life.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's the greenest
Cradle of
it's the
civilization.
greenest country on earth, and I think that makes their air so much more oxygenated. And you just are like fired up every morning from the super oxygen air because there's just so much greenery. So much photosynthesis going on in oxygen.
Should you bring
production.
oxygen with you, like those canisters?
No, the oxygen's already there.
Okay. But isn't Kenya elevated? You just talked about the mountains.
Oh, true. Let's test out what Nairobi's.
Yeah. I need to know their altitude. You should know this as a coach.
Oh, it's a mile high.
Is it?
Oh fuck, we're playing at altitude?
Yeah. Billy.
You need to bring one of those masks that the athletes train with.
Oh my god. So they're playing in super oxygen in Uganda, then they get no oxygen in Nairobi.
What's the altitude in Uganda?
Well, in the Bawindi impenetrable forest, it's pretty insane.
I've always said that.
This has got to be the most times that Bawindi Impenetrable Forest has been mentioned on
Getting
the
a lot of
podcast.
free pub.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting a bill. I don't know who we send that to.
So Uganda's 39,000, which isn't that bad. But
3,900?
yeah, 3,900. I mean,
Okay, that's still some decent elevation, though.
yeah.
Does the Freedom of Information Act transfer over to foreign governments? Because I'm convinced Billy's getting some sort of bag from like the Ugandan
Tourism
sports
board?
ministry. Yeah,
Yeah.
something.
No comment.
I mean, nobody has ever hyped up something.
I
like
would
Billy
definitely.
hypes up
I would if
Uganda.
you are looking for a place in Africa to visit, like you want to do safari. Uganda has probably the best safari because you can do Big Five in the north at Queen Elizabeth National Park. That's where you can see like your classic safari: rhino, lion, elephant, giraffe, hyena. They have the whole sub-Saharan African safari, but then they also have the Bawindi Natural Forest where you can go to the one of 3 countries in the world that has gorillas, and you can actually get as close as Big T and PFT are sitting to a silverback gorilla. It takes a long hike, but it is a beautiful scenery. And then
And
there's
for more
also
information, all this, should I visit Uganda.com?
well, if you can also see the source of the Nile, which is the source of the White Nile, which is the longest part of the separation of the Nile. There's the Blue Nile and
That's
the
a
White
nice
Nile. The
change
White
of
Nile is
pace.
the longest, and you can see where the water that flows all the way into the Mediterranean starts in the springs around Lake Victoria.
Okay, so it's become clear that like Qatar,
Yes.
Billy, the Uganda Tourism Ministry saw the Qatar video with like David Beckham being like, take a long extended 36-hour layover in Qatar and come see all the sites. It's like, well, we don't have the money for David Beckham, but I know this guy Billy Football from Barstool. He's kind of like David Beckham.
If David Beckham was like way cooler and like more of a dude.
If David Beckham partied still.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations on the bag, Billy. Glad you
Thanks.
secured it.
It was just a tourist visa.
Let's get into Pearl Harbor. You want to do it?
What a change.
Yeah.
Really quick. So as a mid-coast resident PFT, what the hell happened in Arlington, Virginia with that explosion?
Oh, so I don't know. I saw the video. I didn't really dive into it too much. They said that they called the SWAT team out. It looked like a gas explosion. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but a fucking bomb went off inside somebody's house, basically. And it was a massive explosion, leveled the house instantaneously. And it was all caught on video. And I thought it was fake when I first saw it. I was like, this is definitely from like a movie set and somebody's across the road filming it and it looks like it's a neighborhood, but it's like a stunt. But no, somebody's did anybody die in that?
Yeah, one dude. I did the research. I thought it was some like Russian safe house that they blew themselves up to destroy the evidence, or like evidence of like election stuff or something. Just like going down the rabbit hole, just checking all the boxes, making sure it wasn't something crazy. Could have been like CCP, PRC type stuff, but it wasn't. It was a schizophrenic dude with a bunch of flare guns because he couldn't buy a real gun. And he thought his neighbors were going to kill him. So his neighbors like called the police like, yo, this dude's posting crazy shit on Facebook. And he shot a couple flare guns at the SWAT team. And then they think he either had a bunch of explosives in his house or he just turned the gas on and fired off a flare and blew himself up. And so all those other flares.
The fire chief in Arlington said that the fire department turned off the gas line before the explosion occurred.
Oh, so he had explosives in there. Jesus.
He might have had explosives in there, yeah. It's a crazy, crazy video. Where was it in Arlington? Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty close to where I grew up. Wild. Wild video, though. All right, but yeah, Pearl Harbor. Let's talk about Pearl Harbor, guys. It is December 7th. A lot of us remember this as a day that will live in infamy. And by infamy, I mean I'm referring to the SpaghettiOs post that they put online a couple years ago. The SpaghettiOs post is all time.
Arian likes the post. Was that in the show?
I'm not sure if it was or not.
I don't remember if we were recording or not.
I don't think it was. We might have been recording, so I can look back and add it in.
It was the SpaghettiO holding an American flag, and it said, "Take a moment to remember Pearl Harbor with us." And then they deleted the post, and everybody made fun of it. I love the idea that somebody at SpaghettiOs was like, we need to weigh in on Pearl Harbor.
Important to note, he's grinning ear to ear. He's excited.
Yeah,
the SpaghettiO.
You can't make a somber SpaghettiO.
Well, you can if it's Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, but no one's going to buy pasta with like a solemn SpaghettiO.
Well, that goes back to your point of SpaghettiOs. We didn't need to hear from SpaghettiOs on this 80 years after the fact to begin with. But
yeah. Now, if they posted about Pearl Harbor like all the time to remind people what a tragedy it was with the loss of life, I would respect that. It's like, okay, you're about that. You're trying to raise awareness. But no, you parachute in on December 7th one year and randomly it's like, here's SpaghettiOs' take on the matter. I don't like that. Let's see are they posting any?
I would love if they just became the unfortunate meme brand.
Yeah.
Just every tragedy, SpaghettiOs posts a happy SpaghettiO.
Well, they didn't forget. A lot of people did. SpaghettiOs didn't. I mean, they're probably one of the only brands.
This is a worse tweet. March 6th, 2020. A great cocktail option after a long week of #adulting. And it's it looks like a Bloody Mary that's made with SpaghettiOs. And it's got like 2 slices of hot dogs instead of olives. Look at that, Big T. What do you think about that cocktail?
That looks horrifying.
That's maybe the worst cocktail I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, December 7th.
A lot fewer followers than I would have guessed for SpaghettiOs.
They've got like 8,000, 9,000.
Very inactive.
Yeah. So to talk about Pearl Harbor and the attack on Pearl Harbor, probably important to talk about Japan in general, and how we got to that place. So Matthew Perry, R.I.P., different Matthew Perry, he was a naval captain, and he sailed to Japan in the 1850s to basically introduce Japanese trade to the world. So they opened up all their ports, And Japan has always been like a very isolated community. They were, I don't think any civilizations ever invaded Japan. Is that right, Bill?
Well, the Mongols almost did if it wasn't for a typhoon that wiped out their whole fleet. Everyone's like the samurais like prevented I think the Mongols did get to mainland Japan, but they weren't able to invade and take over. But Japan had historically, had a closed door policy, dating back to, they were an island nation. They were constantly people constantly looked to invade them, like China, some of the Mongols, Korean dynasties, all sorts of stuff. They called that policy Sakoku. And I'm going to butcher a lot of pronunciation today. So let's start with Sakoku. It was self-isolation that continued into the 17th century. Because remember, these guys had samurai running around until, like, I'd say early 1900s. Mm-hmm. People forget that there are photos of samurais. There was actually a duel, like the type of duel in the beginning of Troy where they had, old school, instead of two armies fighting and just having tons of casualties, they just send out their best warrior, kill it, like David versus Goliath style. Mm-hmm. And the Russians had this one dude who's a sword fighter, and he went up against a samurai, and it was the last duel of that kind on Earth, where they had a samurai fight this like Serbian sword dude. And the Serbian won. That was in the Russo-Japanese War, I think in 1904. And that really got Japan going because they're like, well, they lost that time, but I think they won that war. And that got Japan pretty bolstered that they could compete with the big dogs.
Yeah, so they defeated Russia in the Russo-Japanese War. And this actually, we should probably do an entire episode about the Russian Navy in that war as they were trying to invade Japan. Maybe the worst mission of all time in the history of warfare. I think it was run by a guy named Zinovy Rozhdestvensky. Zinovy Rozhdestvensky. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they had, I think, 18,000. They had to go over 18,000 miles sailing from the top of Russia all the way around Europe, all the way around Africa, all the way around India, and then up the coast of China to get to Japan to fight the Japanese fleet. And it was all like conscripted peasants that were serving on these ships. So they weren't trained soldiers at all. They were like some of them were fishermen, some were just like villagers that got sent on this mission. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And on the way, they attacked like a shitload of civilian vessels by mistake. They fired on their own vessels multiple times. I think they sank their own ships on the way. Like they encountered no resistance actually from anybody on the way there, but they got into like 4 or 5 fake battles that they thought they were under attack in, and they just ended up like destroying themselves on the way to Japan. And then once they got to Japan, they absolutely gave away all their positions and got the shit kicked in by the Japanese Navy.
Ultimate road game. And this one mission, we need to look into a little bit more because we could honestly do an entire episode on that. It's fucking crazy. There was this one part of it called the Dogger Bank incident, also known as the North Sea incident, and that was October 22nd, 1904. The Baltic fleet of the Imperial Russian Navy mistook a British trawler or a trawler fleet from Kingston, and they thought that it was the Imperial Japanese Navy that was off the coast of England in the North Sea. They fired on them, and they also fired on each other. They killed 2 British fishermen. One fishing vessel was sunk. 5 more boats were damaged. And on the Russian side, they killed a guy, one of their own people. He was a priest that was caught up in the crossfire. And that was like maybe one of the least embarrassing incidents on this entire journey that they had there. So what happened was they got panicked, and the Russian fleet was just terrified of Japan. As they're sailing to the North Sea, they thought that there was a minefield there. Somebody saw something that they thought was a mine. Wasn't a mine. Could have been just like a rock in the ocean. And then they spent,
I think, a couple days, maybe even a full day, maybe two, trying to navigate a non-existent minefield. And they were all so paranoid that at any moment their boat was going to explode. Then they saw a fishing ship from England off in the distance, and they're like, there it is. There's the Japanese Navy, and completely fucked everything up. So who knows if that was just a case of a bad team going on the road, getting their ass kicked, or if it was really the Japanese Navy was that good. But the result of it was the same, which is in 1905, they were feeling like they were on top of the world after they beat the Russian Navy, and the U.S. started seeing how Japan was expanding, and Japan doesn't have that many natural resources to build and maintain a military on the island. They're not a very resource rich nation, so they knew that Japan was going to have to start doing some fuck shit if they wanted to maintain their industrial sector and build up their military. So they knew that Japan was going to either have to strike trade agreements elsewhere or just like send their army places. What ended up happening after World War One, the Japanese set their sights on China, and they were like, "We're going to invade. We're going to do unspeakable things." You should read up also on some of the stuff that Japan did. I think we talked about it with Large on the Japan episode.
Some nuts shit. Like, look up. I mean, this isn't the purpose of our episode today, but like rape of Nanking, comfort houses. There was one unit that was just doing terrible human experimentation. But basically, Japan saw blood in the water in early post World War One. A lot of the dissolution of colonial colonies in the South Pacific. Basically, when Nazi Germany invaded France, there was a bunch of French colonies in the region that were just up for grabs, and the Japanese were like, hell yeah, let's start our empire, and just started picking off places like Vietnam, which was a French place. I think at that time it was called French Indochina. And basically any weaker colonial places they were going after, a lot of ex-Dutch colonies and some English ones. So they really started expanding and doing fucked up stuff to the local people.
Yeah, they invaded Indochina, and then the U.S. put sanctions on Japan, basically saying we're going to shut off their trade. They're doing too much fuck shit. We need them to chill out, so sanction. We're going to sanction you up. We're going to limit your access to resources. They cut off scrap iron. They cut off petroleum. So in 1941, they put these sanctions in place, and they estimated that Japan had about 6 months left of resources. And as soon as they burned through those, they were either going to have to scale back their military, or they were just going to have to find it elsewhere and start more invasions. So the U.S. didn't want Japan to continue with its colonialism. So we put those sanctions on, hoping that they'd stop. And then Japan's back was against a wall. And after Italy and Germany started teaming up together, Japan was like, well, we're not aligned with the U.S. They don't like us, so we're going to align with the Nazis and the fascists in Italy. And that's going to secure some resources for us to continue to build our shit up in the future. So that was Japan's reason. They didn't have – I don't think Japan was aligned with Hitler's extermination. I don't think they had any reason to join the ideological side of the Nazis.
I think there was a little bit of that in their opinions on like Chinese people, Koreans. They definitely saw themselves as superior to a lot of the countries they invaded. And part of that whole, and check out the episode we did with Large, where, you know, the emperor was a god and the Japanese people were part of this, it was almost a religion. Their sort of like their fascism was almost a religion, and they thought they were like closest to the emperor, who was a god to them.
Yeah. What do you think would happen if like Japan and Germany had won World War II? Eventually, Japan would get sick of Hitler and all this shit being like, the white Nordic Germans are the chosen race. And Japan's like, hey, our emperor is actually the god, so I'm not really buying that shit. How would that have shaken out?
Cold War. It would have been a Cold War between them. They had two
Yes.
opposing ideologies that finally came to conflict after the dissolution of the enemy.
They were both extremely xenophobic,
Yeah.
but they also. But if you're like making a truce with another xenophobic country, don't you also have to keep in the back of your head like, hey, they also hate us because we're not from there.
I'm going to be honest. I think there was so much separation that, for example, if let's say, okay, alternate history, let's alternate, wasn't not a fan of this alternate history, the Axis won, and their expansion was as much as they wanted.
Thank you for coming out against that.
Yeah, I'm anti-Nazi, hate Nazis. That's
Are you
hard.
anti-fascist?
Not with the.
Yes or no?
I'm not with.
Are you against fascism, Billy?
I'm against fascism,
Don't let him play word games. Don't answer.
but
that
I'm
question.
not with that group.
I think.
But
I think
like,
Billy, you're Antifa.
no, I'm not, dude. I just said I was.
You said you're anti-fascist.
No, those guys are cowards.
You're anti-fascist.
So like, I think Germany would only spread as far as Western Russia, like to the occupiable, like basically where all the infrastructure is in Russia. I don't think they would stretch farther than North Africa. Like their
You
whole
said
idea.
they would not want Siberia?
I mean, no one wants Siberia.
They'd probably just do the same thing, treat it like a prison.
Yeah, but
They'd
I
take
think
over the railway.
I think they'd give Japan that region. I think Japan would only take all of Southeast Asia, Australia, India, and I think the buffer zone would be the mountains that separate, like not the Himalayas, but the Hindu Kush. I think there was enough boundaries between them that would cause for no like expansionist claims against each other.
What about the U.S.? Would they? I don't know. Would they invade the entire
Actually,
U.S.?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if they were unrestricted and Japan like took Alaska and took a lot of the west coast of the U.S., shit. Actually, you're making me think there could have been big land like squabbles in the Midwest.
That's Man in the High Castle. I think they addressed that, right?
Did Japan get the Rocky Mountains?
Yeah.
Actually, no, the Rocky Mountains.
That's probably it. Yeah, Japan had the West Coast, and then Nazis had the Eastern United States.
South America. Jeez, this is scary to think about.
Yeah. So Japan aligned themselves with the Nazis so that they could get resources. Same with the Italians. They were cut off from the rest of the world. So they're like, okay, well, nobody puts baby in a corner. I'm going to team up with the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So like Big T, your favorite college football teams, would it be fair to say the University of Tennessee and then whoever's playing Alabama?
Well, for the most part, but like, what about when Alabama's playing, Florida or Georgia? Like,
yeah.
so sometimes
you could find yourself rooting. Would you find yourself rooting for Alabama against Georgia?
Yes, because Bama is the lesser of those evils.
Really?
Well,
who are the biggest evils then? Number one,
Well,
Florida.
Alabama's number 4.
Well, it depends what
evil.
you're talking about. Like in the SEC championship, when Bama was playing Georgia, things have changed now, I guess. Now they're both known quantities. But like before Georgia had won a national title, Bama was the devil you knew. And
Yeah.
Georgia, at least we still had, the fact that they hadn't won a title since 1980.
Right.
Then they won 2 in a row. So like the objective was to keep that from happening. Bama won every year. Who cares? So
Wouldn't that suck if like Bama wins 2 in a row and then Georgia wins 2 in a row after that? It's just between them.
I mean, they're very good programs.
They are. So yeah, that's how Japan saw themselves. So they team up with the Nazis and with the Italians, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna get our resources elsewhere, and if the U.S. is gonna block our shit, guess what we're gonna do? We're going to attack the United States. So there were negotiations going on behind the scenes about the trade sanctions, all that stuff. We didn't want to budge because we didn't want Japan continuing their aggression across that hemisphere, and Japan didn't want to budge on what they wanted because they didn't want the United States, a big foreign power, to be limiting them in terms of how far they could expand their own empire. So we're at kind of a standstill with that. We cut off their oil, and Japan was like, you know what, we're going to have to strike against the United States. and we're going to do the first strike on them. We thought that they were going to attack the Philippines. So we thought that they would attack there because that's more along the lines of where their vessels would be going. Yeah, Billy?
Did we have the Philippines back then?
We had a presence there.
We had a presence, but did we? Because people forget, like half of the Spanish-American War was fought in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And there was a whole thing about U.S. soldiers in the Philippines.
You know what's great is Filipino food.
Yes.
It's delicious. There's some great Filipino Mexican fusion places too.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the Philippine Islands were in possession of the United States and had been for 4 decades in 1941.
All right, so yeah, it was our territory then.
Yeah.
So we thought they were gonna attack us there because that's closer to where their ships were gonna be going if they're going down to Indochina, going up to Japan. But instead, the Japanese thought to themselves, let's take out the fleet that they have at Pearl Harbor, because that fleet would be the major staging ground for the United States to patrol all of the Pacific Ocean. So they wanted free reign in the Pacific, so they thought the best way to do that would be to limit the United States' ability to intervene. So there were negotiations going on back and forth. What do you guys think about the theory that the U.S. knew that they're going to attack? Because at the time, we did not want to get into another war. We were still kind of fresh off WW1. We're trying to be just isolationist. We don't want to get involved in any wars going on overseas. We lost too many people in World War I. Let's not do that again. And so the American public did not want to join World War II. They were like staunchly against joining another war like this. In fact, at the time, there were Nazi rallies that were being held in the United States. Like the Charles Lindbergh was kind of a Nazi himself, and they had a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden for the German-American Bund. And you can go back and watch footage of it, like swastikas and everything. It was a pro-Nazi rally that took place in the United States.
Yorkville, Manhattan was a low-key stronghold. Because
where's that?
It's north Upper East Side bordering Harlem, but it was known as a very German neighborhood with both German Christians and German Jews. And there was, back in that time before the war, there was like, I'm pretty sure there was an office of the Nazi American Party. I just heard that from hearsay. Let me look up if it's true.
So yeah, there is a theory that we knew that they were going to attack because the American public didn't want to fight in this war. And the theory is that if we were attacked, then we would have a reason to go fight. And the United States government at the highest levels wanted to be in this war, but they knew that they wouldn't have the public backing. So what better way to do that than to get attacked, rally around patriotism, and be like, yep, guess what? We're going to go do this. Remember Pearl Harbor. And some people think that's what happened because there were warnings that the Japanese were going to attack. So we did, I guess you could say that we had prior knowledge that there was an attack imminent, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think there's many elements to it. Like with every attack, people get, there are rumors and intel, but a lot of them can't be confirmed. Like, for example, in almost every major event in New York City, the NYPD picks up a tip about a terrorist attack that's going to attack. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're dealing with a world at war in 1941, Germany's off the coast of New York. There's U-boats, there's U-boats in the Gulf, like all these different threats. You don't know which one to take seriously. And if they found that there's going to be an attack on the Philippines, there's going to be an attack on Pearl Harbor, I think it's very hard to predict which ones are true or not, especially when you're just a country on the sidelines of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if there was an attack coming, I do think that maybe some of our allies did know the attack was coming, but, in order to lure the U.S. into the war, sort of maybe didn't confirm some intel on the whole thing to ensure a U.S. entrance. Like, for example, the British were fighting the Japanese in their South Pacific colonies, like via Australia and everything. I'm pretty sure the Japanese first started fighting the British. So they may have been intercepting codes from the Japanese and may have had more intel and not shared. That's a conspiracy I would agree with. I don't think FDR would purposely allow what happened happen.
So, yeah, there was an admiral. His name was Husband E. Kimmel. That's a great admiral name, isn't it? Admiral Husband. And
That's pretty good.
General Walter C. Short, they shared the command at Pearl Harbor. They were warned about the possibility of war, specifically on October 16th. They were warned again November 24th and 27th. On the 27th, the dispatch said, "This is to be considered a war warning. Negotiations have ceased," and they directed the admiral to execute an appropriate defensive deployment. Kimmel was also ordered to undertake such reconnaissance and other measures as you deem necessary. The communication to General Short said that hostile action is possible at any moment, and like its naval counterpart, urged measures of reconnaissance. So we did have warning. We did know that an attack was likely, if not imminent. But in a stroke of good fortune, we had, I think, all three of the aircraft carriers were out to sea, and they were not docked at Pearl Harbor. So we had 3 aircraft carriers in the Pacific in World War II. All 3 of them were not, they weren't where the Japanese thought they'd be. So it could have been way, way worse in this attack, because if they had sank a carrier, even one carrier, would have been real bad news for us.
That was the coincidence everyone points to say that the U.S. knew the attack was coming, was that all the aircraft carriers were out to sea. But at the same time, if you thought an attack was coming somewhere in your Pacific presence, you would want your aircraft carriers out. Like, they were probably going to the Philippines where they thought an attack was going to Midway, like to try to ensure that the attack, that they were out just trolling, making sure no one's coming up, not in the home base. Like, if you thought someone was attacking you, would you just sit home, or you would send out scouts?
Probably send out scouts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess fortunately we did not get any carriers sunk in the attack. It was a 90-minute attack. Do you know the kind of planes they used, Billy?
Zero fighters, Mitsubishis.
All right, very good. Tell me about the Mitsubishi Zeros, Billy.
They were built of wood.
They were super light.
Super light. I don't know if they're made of balsa wood, but someone once said in a Dogfights History Channel. Did you watch Dogfights on History Channel?
Did I watch Dogfights on History Channel?
Dude, I love that show. I love that show. They used to be like you'd have this like old World War II pilot who'd be like, "Those Zero fighters were made of balsa wood. You could cut them up just as much as you could punch a hole through one."
Yeah, they got chewed. They got chewed up every time you shot them. Fun fact about those planes, like a Mitsubishi Zero would beat an F-22 in a dogfight, as long as the F-22 isn't allowed to use its missiles. If it was just guns only, and the F-22 obviously could like speed away much, much faster. It can go, Mach 3 or whatever. And then it could turn around, come back, and probably take out the Zero. But if we're just talking like a closed fight, rate of turn fight, the Mitsubishi Zero, and basically any plane from World War II, would beat the F-22, which is the Raptor. Did I say Lightning earlier? I always mix those up. F-22 Raptor would get its shit pushed in by a Zero. My
favorite World War II fighter plane is the P-47 Thunderbolt. It gets a lot of its shine taken away from it by the P-51 Mustang, which was probably the latest iteration of fighter in the war Ford made. But the P-47 was my favorite because they used to call it the Jug, because it just had a shit ton of armor. And the pilots always loved flying the Jug because they knew they could come home after taking a shit ton of damage, even if, and I just loved that. It was just like the grittiest fighter plane of World War II.
Isn't it kind of insane that like the company that made the planes that attacked Pearl Harbor, you can just now go to a dealership in fucking Naperville, Illinois, and buy a Mitsubishi Outlander?
Wait till you hear about Volkswagen.
Or like a DVD player.
They make those? They do have electronics, right?
Yeah, it's like Yamaha. Yamaha makes everything.
I think
fucking
Yamaha
pianos.
made some stuff too.
I'm sure they did, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they sent a bunch of zeros at us. They bombed, dropped a fuckload of bombs, did some kamikaze runs into the ships too. They sank 2 of our ships at Pearl Harbor. It was a 90-minute attack, and they had 67 ships, 353 aircraft. That's a fuckload of planes coming to get you. Yeah, so the USS Ward fired upon them when they first started to make their incursion into U.S. airspace. They saw there was one Japanese mini-sub at the entrance of the harbor. We shot on that, and we were like, okay, some shit's about to go down. Then all the planes came in. 2,400 U.S. personnel were killed. 1,200 were wounded. 19 ships, 300 planes damaged. So we lost the USS Arizona, which you can still go see, and the USS Oklahoma. And so there were 2,026 American sailors that died, and 1,600 of them were aboard those 2 ships. Which, when I saw those facts, I just thought to myself, I would fucking hate to be in the Navy on a ship. 800 people on a ship out to sea? That sounds awful.
Well, cramped everywhere, no room.
I think
your bed is like
the ships
5 feet long.
They're much bigger than you think, and they had
I know
facilities.
they're big, but still 800 people. That's so many.
But it's like spaced out. I mean, how many do they have on aircraft carriers nowadays?
I don't think it's that.
They're not like
spacious.
You can't go on a ship in the Navy if you're taller than like 6'4", I think 6'3", maybe.
So aircraft carriers have up to 6,500 people on board nowadays.
That doesn't mean they have a lot of space.
I know, but like you live in them. Like they build them to stay on them for a long time. The worst is, I mean, the thing is back then they didn't have scoop. So when the ships went down, the thing is they flipped and there was a ton of sailors who had air pockets that they couldn't get out and would be tapping on the bow of the boats while literally it'd be flipped over and they'd have the hull of the boat sticking up and being above water, and there'd just be guys tapping on the bow of the boat because they were stuck in air bubbles in rooms after the boats were sunk. And there's one example of 3 dudes who had a calendar in their room, and they could track that they were alive for at least 16 days because they marked off 16 days on the calendar. They like, that takes you, does that take you to Christmas? No, the 22nd. But there was reports that some people might have died between December 22nd and December 24th, 25th, which is just the scariest thing to me. Like, imagine being stuck in a metal room that you couldn't get out of, and they found 3 dudes just like all sitting next to each other. That sounds like the worst thing ever. Just waiting for your oxygen to run out, just hoping someone would come rescue you. And the thing is, they didn't have scuba equipment back then. So like, you know, today sometimes scuba divers go down and save people in sunk ships. Like there's this crazy video of a scuba diver finding a guy in a shipwreck in an air bubble. But like they didn't have those back then, and they couldn't like cut open the hull of the boats with blow torches or any of that like metal cutting technology, because if you cut open the like underwater, if you were to cut open part of it, number 1, the blowtorch would burn up all the oxygen in the air bubble. Number 2, the water would come rushing in before you were able to make a hole big enough to get them. So you just end up probably killing them in the process with a hole, like with like tons of, because think about the water pressure that deep. If you open up a hole, you're going to get, you know, hundreds of tons of water blowing into this small spot and just basically killing the sailors in a second. Which I would much rather than dying a slow death in an air bubble.
It's like the Titan sub.
Yeah.
When it exploded, all that water pressure just it actually did explode. Turns into goo. So in the attack, Japan lost 29 aircraft, 5 midget submarines, and they took 1 Japanese soldier prisoner. I thought that was interesting. There was one dude that was on a submarine that was involved in the Pearl Harbor attack, and their boat got destroyed, and it got taken over by the U.S. Navy. In the process, one guy, the entire crew tried to evacuate, but one guy actually did, and he swam to shore and he passed out. And when he woke up, there were just a bunch of like dozens of like Navy officers around him with guns. They're like, okay, you're a prisoner now. So he was in prison in the United States for the rest of the war. I wonder. I've read a lot about some of the German camps that we had, like in Alabama. We in World War II, we would take prisoners of war, and sometimes we would bring them back over to the United States, where they just live in Alabama. And then after the war was over, they just released them. They were free to go home. A lot of them just assimilated into the communities, though. So, Big T, if you're looking for any more ammo against...
I was going to say, I'd rather be in the war than live in Alabama.
Yeah.
That's a horrific punishment. That should have been a war crime.
Against the Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we kept this one dude in prison in the United States until the end of the war. And then he didn't talk about his experience at all until I think it was the 50th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. And he finally opened up about it and started to cry, and it was kind of a strange moment. He also ended up becoming just a spokesperson for pacifism, never fighting in wars. He learned his lesson big time. So,
imagine being the one dude that got captured during Pearl Harbor. That's got to, like, in addition to being a prisoner of war, that's got to really suck.
Well,
it
probably
sucked big
better
time.
than most Japanese soldiers throughout the war. Like, you basically got to be on the sidelines for the worst parts.
Yeah,
Just hurts your ego.
yeah, especially for the Japanese that had such pride. So what happened was this guy got taken to Sand Island, and there was a prisoner of war camp, or at least I guess one prisoner of war person there that turned into a camp, and then he requested that he be allowed to kill himself. You know, because like seppuku, yeah. And the U.S. said, nope, sorry, not going to do that, not on our watch. So then he spent the rest of the war in the U.S., and then he got repatriated to Japan, and spoke out about pacifism the entire time. That'd be wild to go back to Japan. Everyone's like, where were you? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. I was swimming. I swam home. And actually, when that sub got exploded, the U.S. took him hostage, put him in a hospital, and then into the camp. And then the Japanese, they found out that he was a prisoner of war, and they just struck his name from the records, and they told his family he had been killed in action. So all of his family members thought he died, and then like 6 years later, he shows up. That would suck if, like in Castaway, you show up and your wife has like a different husband, got kids. What do you do at that point?
And you already tried to kill yourself, and you couldn't.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Tough L. Suck it, loser.
It's a very tough L. So, yeah, Japan lost 29 aircraft, 5 midget submarines, and 1 Japanese soldier that was taken prisoner. 129 Japanese soldiers died in the offensive. That was you'd have to say that was a successful attack by the Japanese. They lost 129, and they took out, 2,400?
Yeah, reading the Japanese recount of it, they're like, everything went right. Like, there's this one pilot they interviewed who went to Pearl Harbor after the war. It was like 2005, and he was there, and I'll read his excerpt. We flew down the western coast, saw Kayana Point. Shortly after, some of the planes veered off to cross into central Oahu over the Kolekole Pass to Schofield Barracks and the Army Airfield. My crew and I continued until the mountains ended and turned and flew east. I could see the entrance to the harbor. We stayed mostly offshore until we reached the entrance and then turned hard left over Hickam Air Base. As we came back over the waters, headed inland towards Battleship Row, we dropped down to 3 meters above the water. Straight ahead, I saw a ship which turned out to be the West Virginia. I waited as long as I could and then dropped my torpedo. The torpedo had weighed 840 kilos, and the loss of that weight caused the plane to jump upward. I pulled up hard and banked right, looking for the trail of my torpedo in the water. We had been concerned about the torpedo sinking too low after being dropped, but I could see it on the surface headed for the ship. We missed the superstructure of the ship by a few feet. As I continued banking right, I heard the explosion, and that was our first strike at Pearl Harbor. So he hit the first strike, and basically he was like, everything went to plan. Like, they were I don't know, they were most of them were able to escape, to go back, and they were hyped as fuck from the description.
Yeah.
Which is
I mean,
like
landing after that raid and like all your friends are back in Japan. They probably were pretty pumped after that. Probably a
fuck
pretty
those
fun
dudes,
night for
though.
them. Yeah, no, fuck them. But
Yeah.
also, if you were in their shoes, imagine you just like executed a great raid on Nazi Germany,
Yeah.
and you fly back and you land. You're gonna get so drunk that night.
So he in his the article I read, he was like, at the time I thought this was great for our nation. Looking back now, I am saddened by my actions.
Yeah, what they say? Like, I fear we have awoken a sleeping giant.
Yes.
Yeah, they did. Facts only. So after the attack, then the U.S. Rounded up, I think it was a couple thousand community leaders, Japanese community leaders that were in the United States at the time. And yeah, 1,300 Japanese American community and religious leaders, so you're looking at that. To be able to round up that many people that quickly, we definitely had a list going already, right? Like, we had prepared for like fighting potentially the Japanese in another war. And so like, okay, in case this happens, here's the 1,300 people you have to have immediately.
Well, it's probably like on immigration stuff, right?
No, it was just straight up like, you're Japanese, we're fighting against Japan in a war, so we're going to keep you. There was no legal pretext for it.
Yeah.
In fact, so he issued Executive Order 9066, FDR did, and they set up 10 internment camps on the West Coast. They had 120,000 Japanese. Not Japanese, like also just Japanese descent. So like Japanese Americans, like people that were American citizens that were put into those camps. 120,000 of them. 2/3 of them were American citizens. And that executive order was not repealed until 1976, even though the camps were shut down in 1945 and people were sent back. And then in 1988, Congress said, our bad. They issued a formal apology, and they awarded $20,000 each to over 80,000 Japanese Americans.
I'd never heard about that.
The apology or the reparations?
The money.
Yeah, gave him 20 grand. Sorry. Hope this helps. But yeah, the government definitely had a list going already beforehand if they were able to do that so quickly. That would suck, though, if you were just a Japanese American. Like, I think I've asked you, Big T, before what country you're from, and you just say America.
I mean, that is facts.
Yeah, but probably Germany, right? Probably some German in there.
I really have no idea. Like, all the way back through, like, my great-great-grandparents is here.
Yeah, but like if they, Billy, you're part Irish, right? Yeah, like if we start a war against Ireland and they rounded up Billy Football, can't trust this guy. I've seen pictures of him at too many St. Patrick's Day celebrations. This guy takes 2 weeks off every year for St. Patrick's Day. He's an Irish fanatic.
That would kind of serve a lot of people in the Northeast right, though. They all love to say they're Italian and all that shit. Well, when the chickens come home to roost, find out if you want to be Italian or not.
Yeah. Did we do that with you? I don't think we did that with Italians.
No, I'm just that was the one that came to mind thinking of, the just people from Long Island who say they're
right.
Italian.
Well,
Irish,
the
whatever.
Italian mob was quite they were quite they would why am I blanking on the word? They would help the US intelligence against the fascist regime in Italy. Like, the mob was the ones that like interacted with US intelligence and was able to give troop movements in Italy, because I don't think the fascists were good for their business in Italy. Cooperation. That's what I was thinking of.
They didn't like the government. They
Yeah.
didn't, because they're the mob, and so
Yeah.
the government is against the mob. So the mob helped out the U.S. because they were fighting against the government over in Italy. But
They
I
might
don't
have
think
even
there was
found a UFO. The mob may have told the United States government about a UFO that crashed in Italy that Mussolini took into possession, and then the U.S. got it after the war.
I like that theory, Billy.
No, that's like in facts.
That's
That's
yeah,
a fact.
confirmed.
That's in
Confirmed
documents. There
that
was
the
a
mob found a UFO.
We have the documents.
The mob found a UFO and gave it to the United States. Confirmed.
They've said this.
They've said that. They've admitted to all this. Okay, this is, you can
and
look
the
it
Pope and the Pope's involved.
up. So,
That wouldn't shock me.
but yeah, what I'm saying though is like I don't think there's any nuance spared to the Japanese Americans that were like on the West Coast. They were just like, sorry, 120,000 of you are going to be in a camp, and we've got a bunch of Italians on the East Coast. Unless there's a big blind spot in history, I don't think that the U.S. rounded up Italian Americans and put them into camps. Maybe that's what New Jersey.
They
is.
interned during World War II. The U.S. government interned at least 11,000 persons of German ancestry, and I think those were the ones who were going to like Madison Square Garden, and were in Yorkville, Manhattan, which I just looked up did happen.
I'll say it. That seems more than fair.
Yeah, yeah.
The Japanese was a bridge too far. If you go to the Nazi rally when we're at war with Hitler, you go spend some time at camp. I think that's fair.
So we weren't at war with Hitler yet when they had the rally.
Right.
Either way,
But
if you attend a Nazi rally,
seems fair to me.
so. But what about the Italians? I keep going back to this. We didn't round up any Italian people.
well, I think most of the Italians were like Sicilians, and not like the well-off Italians in North Italy weren't the ones coming to America. Like there was no one from
Billy,
Florence.
is this pure speculation?
No, I'm just like the makeup of most Italians in America are like Sicilians,
Okay.
I'd say.
But you said there was no one from Florence in America.
Well,
at
like
that time.
no one wants that. Florence was a beautiful, like no one's immigrating from Florence because it's such a beautiful city. And there's like, but if you're getting oppressed in the south of Italy, then you're coming over.
So it wasn't just the military. It wasn't just factory workers, Rosie the Riveters putting in extra effort in the war after the Japanese attacked. It was also the NFL. The NFL during World War II. They did something crazy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Steagles. Do you guys know about the Steagles?
Really quick, tons of Northern Italians came to America.
But it was so beautiful, Billy.
Well, fewer than 25,000 between 1820 and 1870 came.
Okay, World War II was 1940.
Right. 13 million came from 1880 to 1914.
Oh, so we had a lot of okay.
Yeah,
but again,
but that was more.
just go back
I think
to the
the
fact
bulk come from Southern Italy, who I don't think fucked with Mussolini.
Maybe it was also probably like the sneak attack. They thought that they had spies in the U.S., so
Yeah,
they just turned against all the Japanese, and Italy didn't attack us on our homeland.
yeah.
Even though you can like get into the debate of like Hawaii being like that's not really the homeland of the United States. That's a island chain that we took over with our military.
It wasn't even a state at the time.
So again, not excusing the Japanese internment was like probably one of the worst things that we've ever done as a country. I think we can agree with that. But yeah, the NFL, they put together the Pittsburgh Philadelphia Steagles in World War II. So after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, most of the young men who were the age to play professional football were also the age to go fight in the military for their country. 600 NFL players joined the armed forces. And then FDR was a big sports guy, big football guy, and he was like, we need some games going on at home. We need people to be entertained. So he wrote a letter to the commissioner of baseball, who has the best name of any commissioner ever. His name was Kennesaw Mountain Landis.
Yep. MVP awards named after him.
Is it really?
The NL one is, or at least it was. They may have recently changed it because I think he was slightly racist.
Okay.
But the NL MVP did used to be the Kennesaw Mountain Landis Award.
It's a great name, isn't it? Kennesaw Mountain Landis. And so they said, FDR said, we need Major League Baseball. The people need their sports. Please keep it going. The NFL was like second fiddle to baseball. I would say, what were the big sports back then? It was baseball, horse racing was massive.
Boxing.
But football was not as big yet. So in 1943, the NFL decided that they were going to continue play, and part of that was consolidating the teams because they lost so many players to go overseas and fight. So the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Philadelphia Eagles were rivals at the time, but they put aside their differences and they called themselves the Steagles. So 1943 was the Eagles, the Philadelphia, that was their first winning season in the history of their team, was when they were the Steagles, when they combined forces. Fun fact. So, the Steagles. They had great jerseys, too. Check them out.
Kennesaw Mountain Landis, the award was renamed in 2020.
Who's it after now?
I don't think it. I think it's just MVP. They could have another name. I haven't seen that. But, yeah, they voted to remove it because he failed to integrate baseball.
Got it. So, yeah, they had the Steagles had a winning record. They went 5-4-1. Finished in third place.
Is that a winning record?
Yeah, 5-4-1 is. 5-5-1 is not.
I guess.
It is, but it's also like that tie.
Yeah.
I'm almost rather have a loss. Oh, I also learned this when I was watching Monday Night Football. Did you know that the Jaguars are the only NFL team to never have tied a game?
Really?
They almost tied. Yeah, almost tied, but they still haven't tied yet. The team that has the most ties.
Can I guess?
Yep.
Well, you just okay.
Chicago Bears. You know how many ties they have?
I mean, the Bears have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I was going to guess it had to be, them or the, Giants, whoever.
Nope.
No, I'm going to say like 40.
42.
I'm on fire guessing shit today.
Yeah?
Which it is.
You must have dominated in the dozen.
Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. I don't know.
Can't wait to find out.
That is a talent of mine, though. I'm great at guessing shit. Just getting really close on random shit.
How many career home runs does Jim Thome have?
Jim Thome. I bet Jim Thome hit. This is like when Dave, does he want to go 8-9 or 9-1 when he's doing pizza? I don't know if I want to go like 476 or like 519. I'm going to say he hit 511 home runs.
You're off by 101. He hit 612.
Really?
You should know that Jim Thome had 600.
I didn't think he got to that many.
Oh, yeah. Jim Thome.
600?
Yep. Okay, how about a similar player? Adam Dunn.
Oh, Adam Dunn wasn't close to 600. Adam Dunn is in the fours. I bet Adam Dunn hit 469 homers.
462.
Wow.
Pretty good. Big Donkey.
Yep.
Great nickname. We could use another Big Donkey.
What's the craziest anti-Japanese sentiment you've heard from old people? Because I have some crazy ones.
What a great segue.
Yeah.
What
I love
hell?
this guy.
The funniest, and this was in the research that was done. We hired a part-time researcher. Shout out Mike. Mike is crushing this right now, and he included a bit of NFL trivia. Not really NFL trivia, just a blip in an unfortunate moment in NFL history from 2004. Bill Parcells was coaching the Cowboys at the time, and Sean Payton was their quarterback's coach. And Sean Payton would come up with all these trick plays. I mean, you've seen Sean do them all the time. He had the onside kick at the Super Bowl. He used to tell Taysom Hill, lay down in the end zone and lay inside like the black letter in the end zone if we're wearing our black uniforms so they can't see you, and then get up, and then we'll pass the ball to you. Then you run with it. So he loves trick plays. And Bill Parcells referred to them as Sean Payton's Jap plays, alluding to the sneakiness of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. And then Parcells was talking to the media, and this is how he phrased it. Sean Payton's going to have a few, no disrespect to the Orientals, but what we call Jap plays.
I've never heard of this.
No disrespect to the Orientals, but we're going to run a few Jap plays.
That's hilarious.
No disrespect.
Could you still say Orientals in 2004?
I think you'd probably.
I'm not saying it. I'm asking if
No.
you could say it.
Like Oriental is a word, and it describes things that are from the Orient, which is just like a massive part of the world that we've
Right.
narrowed down to being the Orient. But you can say like an Oriental rug,
I think you can't say that anymore.
but not a person.
I think that's been canceled.
Has it really?
I believe so.
I know that you shouldn't refer to a person as being
Right.
Orient. So yeah, Orient was just the Eastern Hemisphere.
All right, so yeah. But no, I do believe like you can't say Oriental rug anymore.
Okay, I don't know that. Maybe somebody can educate me. I'm gonna err on the side of cautiousness. But yeah, you should not refer to a person. I know that.
Right.
And Bill Parcells.
No disrespect, though.
No disrespect to the Orientals, but we call them Jap plays.
I'd never heard of that.
Yeah.
I know multiple. I've heard these stories through people talking about their fathers who served in World War II in the Pacific Theater, who just won't wear the color yellow because certain Japanese uniforms, especially infantrymen, were yellow.
Yeah.
So like, they just like you'd be wearing a yellow shirt, and it'd be like my dad would have hated that shirt. I was like,
What?
Why?
It's also because like yellow
Yeah.
is a derogatory term towards somebody from Asia.
Yes. But it had something to do with infantry uniforms, like specifically in like trench fighting, because they would get sun bleached, and they'd turn yellow.
If you're in a war, I guess it makes sense to refer to your enemy as like some sort of slur, right? You try to dehumanize them as much as possible.
Jerry.
So if you're, what's that?
Germans.
Oh, Jerry. Yeah, I thought you said cherry. Or just krauts. They call them krauts too. You get as far removed from the situation as possible. You think of them as being like animals because it's easier to kill them if you don't think of them as being a human being just like yourself. So yeah, the soldiers all called them Japs in World War II. And yeah, so since then, since World War II, things have been pretty smooth sailing between the Japanese and the United States. We basically like funded them, rebuilt their country. Yeah, Billy?
Destroyed their birth rate.
Destroyed the birth rate, yeah.
Actually, if you look at the results of 2017's BBC World Service poll, views of Japan's influence by country, we're not even in the top 10 countries that hate them anymore.
Really?
Yeah, China's number 1. Spain is number 2. China wins by a landslide.
Spain is very racist.
Yeah.
Is that racist of me to say that?
I think a lot of places in Europe are pretty racist. And
Spain's like historically racist. They're like
all time.
Yeah, all time racist.
Yeah. I told you guys about this earlier in the week, but there's a picture of the Spanish national basketball team that went viral before the Beijing Olympics where everybody on the team was holding their fingers to their eyes and making them have slanted eyes in preparation to go over to China. It was like an official picture that they took. And then they had to be like, oh, sorry, we didn't know that was going to be offensive.
Yeah, China and South Korea, biggest Japan haters by far.
What about North Korea? They probably hate Japan too, right?
I don't think they're able to poll them.
Yeah, it's probably 100%.
Yeah, India,
for every country.
India and Pakistan and Turkey also aren't big fans of the Japanese.
Huh. With the SpaghettiOs tweet that we mentioned earlier, comedian Natasha Leggero was on New Year's Eve with Carson Daly, and she said she was talking about the SpaghettiOs tweet, and she said it offended a lot of people, corporations glomming on to sentimental American historic traditions, seemingly looking for people in business. It wasn't good. And then Jane Lynch said, I'm offended because they were referring to SpaghettiOs as pasta. And then Leggero said, I mean, it sucks that the survivors of Pearl Harbor are being mocked by the only food they can still chew, which, okay, maybe not a great joke to make, but
that's worse than the SpaghettiOs post for sure.
It might be because she's making fun of like old veterans.
Yeah, let's make fun of people who survived like Pearl Harbor.
But then I liked her apology for it, which made me come back around on her. So her apology was, I wish I could apologize, but do you really want another insincere apology that you know is just an attempt at damage control and not a real admission of guilt? Let me just try instead to be honest. I'm not sorry.
Now, I can appreciate that, honestly.
Yeah. She's making a joke. Probably not a great joke, but I don't think she hates veterans.
Yeah, no, more people should say that.
I agree. I'm not sorry. Do you want me to tell you that I'm sorry?
Yeah.
I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that at least.
So, did you guys see the movie Pearl Harbor?
I've seen the Pearl Harbor scene.
What'd you think?
seems like it would have really sucked to be there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There was dudes.
I haven't seen the whole movie. I don't. Isn't it like it's like a romance?
It's a love story, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, in the
Michael
real
Bay.
Pearl Harbor, there was dudes with their revolvers just opening up the clip on airplanes. And one guy says that he was able to shoot a Zero fighter pilot before he crashed. I don't know if it was true, but like if I was shooting at a Zero fighter and say the guy died before he crashed his plane, like that's pretty fucking metal.
That is cool if you shoot him with a revolver and then like a giant piece of artillery hits his plane and explodes it. You're like, got him.
I shot him first.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That's my kill.
That's fine.
Yeah. What about the kamikazes? Where do we stand on the kamikazes?
No, he said he shot a kamikaze before he crashed.
Yeah. I'm just curious to know, Billy, your perspective on the kamikazes.
Well, they thought they were dying for their emperor. I mean, pretty wild dudes. When you have an enemy that's willing to literally kill themselves in order to defeat you, that's when you have to like start taking out the extra stuff.
It was meant to be like a statement. Like every plane that intentionally crashed was an attack, like obviously on the plane, but also if you're like a sailor on that plane, you're like, holy shit, these guys believe this much in their cause that they're doing that. That's meant to like destroy your morale, because every soldier's like, that's so far outside of what I would ever do for my country, and they're willing to do it for their country. Like, we might be in trouble here.
Yeah, like that's when you gotta get Oppenheimer to get the chemistry going, the physics.
So, the kamikazes would load up their planes with bombs, with TNT, explosives, fly them in. They hit a few of our big ships with that, and yeah, that would suck. That would suck to be on the receiving end of a comic, or even just see. Like, I've watched some of those clips on the History Channel. It's like deeply uncomfortable to watch.
Oh yeah. There was a Simpsons moment before the Simpsons even existed, but that's the best way to describe it. There was an advertisement that they investigated after the war that they thought might have been a warning. So on November 22nd of 1941, a strange advertisement appeared in the New Yorker magazine. It pictured a group of people sheltered from an air raid playing dice. Under the headline, Achtung, warning, alert, the copy read, "We hope you'll never have to spend a long winter's night in an air raid shelter, but we were just thinking, it's only common sense to be prepared. If you're not too busy between now and Christmas, why not sit down and plan a list of things you'll want to have on hand? And though it's no time really to be thinking of what's fashionable, we bet that most of your friends will remember to include those intriguing dice and chips, which make Chicago's favorite game the Deadly Double." Scattered throughout the issue were 6 smaller tag ads referring to the main copy, with the dice numbered 12 and 7, numbers on no known dice at that time. Later during the war, Navy transport pilot Joseph Bell was flying a South Pacific route when one of his passengers, an intelligence officer, told him that many in intelligence considered this ad a secret warning. He had been assigned to investigate the matter, but every lead had led him to a dead end. The ad's copy had been presented in person at the magazine's offices, and the fee paid with cash. So someone had, before the U.S. had entered a war, said, hey, if you're going to be in a bomb shelter soon, might as well buy this board game. And on the board game, there was 12, a dice that had 12 and a dice that had 7, 12-7, December 7th, the day that shall live in infamy. So they were like, it's like that Simpsons clip of the 9 cents next to the Twin Towers. So they can.
That's crazy.
They weren't able to confirm if it was a real board game that was being advertised.
And it was paid for in cash?
In cash. So they're at the magazine's office. So, and there's no security cameras. So they don't know who bought this ad that said 12-7, you're going to be in a bunker. So they're like, whoa, was this a secret warning?
Yeah, that is wild. I'm looking it up right now. The Deadly Double.
Yeah.
Also, quick fact check on kamikazes. There was one suspected kamikaze pilot in Pearl Harbor. He might have had a fuel leak, and he just decided to go suicide, but he didn't have his plane set up with bombs or explosive or anything. They didn't really start doing the kamikaze attacks until later, when it looked like they were getting beaten back a little bit. But there was one person that might have been a kamikaze pilot at Pearl Harbor. Fact checking in real time. It's accountability, baby.
I forgot about
That's
that
what
part.
you-
They
that's
said
what
that
you
in
get.
dog fights.
Yeah, that's what you get with this podcast. It's facts. Facts only. Then we entered the war and
Kicked ass.
kicked
By
ass.
the way.
Yeah, FDR gave the only thing we have to fear is fear itself speech. He gave the day which will live in infamy speech. And at that point, American sentiment turned like 100%. We're like, all right, let's fucking do this. You're going to attack us? Let's go to the mat. We stand on business. I guess we wheel on business is what FDR would have said.
Good
Bully
one.
heart.
Yeah, bully heart. Yeah, we had bully hearts at the time.
Standing on business.
This is one of those situations where if Twitter was around for this attack, all the wild conspiracies that would start like day one about what happened.
You know what's crazy? They invaded the Philippines 10 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's the deal with declaring war?
no, actually
So-
not 10 days, 10 hours.
10 hours later.
8th of December 1941, they attacked Manila. And
So help me out though. What is the big deal about declaring war? So like right after they attacked us, we declare war on them. We're like, okay, we're letting you know, heads up, we're at war. And then because of the truce in the alliance, then Italy and Germany declared war on the U.S. And then we had to be like, fuck, now we have to declare war on them. Is that just like a funding thing where if the U.S. votes to declare war, then they get way more money for the military?
I think
Different powers, different things that they can do?
I think it has to do with also like ship movements in your territorial, like foreign nationals. Like if you declare war, I think like you seize their embassy. Like there's a lot of active actions you have to take.
Yeah, basically saying if you're from a country that we're not at war with and you see our ships moving through your waters, like just stay the fuck off because we're in battle mode right now.
War mode. Is
We're
there?
in war mode.
We didn't declare war on Iraq, did we?
No, it was a congressional resolution authorizing the use of force by President Bush.
And I think it has to do with like the UN. But let's look into that because I don't even think Russia's technically declared war on Ukraine. It's a military exercise still.
Is it?
Declaring war and coining money. What? So
Yeah, it might allow us to print more money.
yeah, what is the process? Okay, so the Constitution grants Congress the sole power to declare war. Congress,
Which is
declared
why it was
war.
such
Yeah.
bullshit in Iraq that they were just like, yeah, we authorize George Bush to make the choice for us.
Yeah. Okay, so we've only declared war 11 times.
Okay, let's. This is a good sporkle.
It's hard. It's very hard.
Okay, let's see
All
how many
right.
we can get. Okay, World War I.
1 and 2.
Oh, no, but you had it's 11 different countries.
Okay, we declared war on Germany in World War II.
Oh, we're
Japan-
doing the countries, not the times?
No, but it's way less than you think.
Okay, Japan, World War II, Germany, WW2,
Uh-huh.
Italy, WW2,
Uh-huh.
Spain.
Spain, and the Spanish-American War.
Yeah.
Yep.
We declared war
Britain.
on Great Britain.
Yep.
In was it just once or was it 1812?
1812, I would imagine. is
Yeah,
what's
just
on
once.
there.
1812,
Uh-huh.
and then so we're at 6 right now, right? Then
Oh,
Korea.
wait. I don't think we're on 6.
yeah, we're at 6. Germany, Japan, Italy, Spain,
Britain.
England,
Korea.
Korea.
Nope.
Mm.
Vietnam is not
I
one.
don't think. Yeah, it was a conflict, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
We
think.
might
I think
have
you're only gonna
declared-
get one or two more.
We declared war on. Did we declare war on France ever?
No. Come on. There's
Mexico.
Yep, Mexico,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and you're missing like one huge conflict.
I'm missing a big one, huh? Oh, Germany, World War One.
Yes.
And
Oh, I didn't know we were counting countries twice.
And
Come on, you got this.
who else did we fight personally against in World War One?
Come on.
I need to know.
Russia?
No.
I need to know more about World War One history.
Come on. Duke it out in your brain.
Vienna or Austria? Austria-Hungary.
Yep, Austria-Hungary, and then I don't think you're going to get any of the rest.
What? Give us a century.
They're all in World War II. It's Bulgaria, Hungary, and Romania.
Oh, I didn't know that we declared.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
did-
know they were about it like that.
Yeah, I guess they were like separate.
That's a big come up for them, right?
Yeah.
No, that's big.
That's
like
punching down.
Yeah.
That's the FCS schools playing at UT or whatever.
And
Yeah.
we didn't declare war with them. They were the last three countries we declared war on, and that was in June 4th, 1942. I think that's when Germany took over those countries, or they surrendered and were like, we have Nazi governments now.
Yeah, like France did that too.
Like, I don't think we declared war on France because they had.
No, we declared war on probably Vichy France.
Yeah. But I don't even think. I think that was technically Germany.
It was Germany.
But
yeah.
I think like the surrender guys. So that's crazy. That's some really great trivia. Someone's gonna say, "What are the 11?" Like, huh?
The last ones were Bulgaria, Hungary,
And
and
Romania.
Romania. Okay.
Yeah. Someone's gonna use that one day in a trivia thing, and you Macrodosians are gonna know.
Everyone listen right now. Hear me now, believe me later. There will be a Slumdog Millionaire moment where you are asked that question at some point. Or maybe you see it on Jeopardy and you're around your family and you can be like, I got this. And then they'll be like, damn, that's really impressive. Where'd you learn that? I learned that from Billy Football.
You know what's crazy is that in all the votes in the Senate, they were all unanimous except the first one, Great Britain, June 17th, 1812. That was 19 to 13th to declare war. 19 to 13. And then Germany the first time was only 82 to 6. And Mexico was 40 to 2. I don't know who was voting against going to war with Mexico in 1846. But what makes it so special, and why are we like not declaring war? Like there's probably some big thing.
I think politically, the people in Congress were pussies in 2003. And when we invaded Iraq, they didn't want to declare war. So instead they put it on President Bush. And then they're like, okay, we're going to give him the authorization to use force. But that way we have like one step of distance away from that. If things don't go well, then, hey, we never did it. We never declared war. Also probably has something to do with the legalities of it. Like doing a preemptive attack, if you were to declare war preemptively against Iraq because we're being told that they have weapons of mass destruction, et cetera, chemical, biological weapons. I don't know legally if you're allowed to invade another country because they have those weapons.
Oh, I think it has something to do with peace treaties. Like you're able to get out of there easier.
If you declare war.
No, if you don't declare war. Because then you have to undeclare war.
Yeah.
We gotta give the listeners a better answer than this, so I will be digging for a second.
Okay, Billy's going to dig. While Billy digs, I want to talk to you about digging for something else. Digging for deals. Digging for tickets. Digging for the best seats at live events. I'm talking about Game Time. You know I'm talking about Game Time. I've been using Game Time. Oh, you know what? I think I have a concert I'm going to this weekend that I purchased on Game Time. I completely forgot about that until right now. How about that? Very excited about my concert. You can go see NFL football games. You can go see bowl games. You can go see college football playoff games. You can go see sports everywhere. NHL, NBA, college basketball. It's all happening right now. And Game Time is the fastest and the easiest way to buy tickets to all that stuff. You have sports, music, comedy, theater. You got it all with Game Time. They've got flash deals, zone deals. They've got a lot going on right now. You can check out Game Time, find any event in your area. They're the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the view from your seat before you buy. I love that feature. That's a relatively new thing, but it still amazes me. It's like, oh, that's what I'm going to be looking at. I love it.
I won't buy a ticket unless you can see like the view.
Yep. Well,
And some sites don't do that, which is why they're not as good.
not as good as Game Time. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, and it's super easy to transfer your tickets. A lot of times you're going to the game with a group of friends. Maybe you're going with some family members. Maybe some of them aren't super tech savvy. You can just text the tickets to them. It's so easy. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, and I'm going to give you $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code MACRO for $20 off your first purchase. Download that app, create the account, use promo code MACRO for $20 off your first purchase. Code MACRO, $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, Billy, what you got?
Okay, so after World War II, basically the UN got put in place and made war way more prohibited. When a nation declares war today, a number of rules kick in about neutral nations shipping the rights of civilians and more. By declaring war, the United States would open itself up to international scrutiny and burdensome regulation. This is for any nation that declare wars. So that's why Russia is doing special military operations. So also, in America's case, you don't have to take it through Congress. And then Congress gets exclusive power during the war, as opposed to just the executive branch. So the president can't then the president isn't really the full commander in chief anymore. And also then they get like the Hague is looking into things, and like everyone's like trying to referee the war. So yeah. So
R.I.P. Henry Kissinger.
So yeah, Romania, Hungary, and Bulgaria were the last 3 nations we declared war on, and that was because they were junior allies of the Axis.
Junior allies.
Yeah. So they were junior Axis members.
That's not cool.
That's demeaning.
It's very demeaning.
And they get left out.
You're like, I guess we kind of declare war on you.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's like LeBron being guarded by Dylan Brooks. Yeah, I guess I'll dunk on you.
They were bench players.
Running your jaw. That's the biggest honor of Romania's life. Yeah, the United States fought us.
Hang the banner.
Hang the banner up. Competed, yeah. World War II participant.
Yep.
Romania. Do we have voicemails today?
We do.
Let's do some voicemails. Are we doing the Tennessee Minute today too? Or are you teed off about it?
Ain't nothing happened since we beat George Mason last night. That was good.
Yeah.
Covered.
What about teed off?
I
loved your teed off on Monday / Tuesday's episode.
We did 3 on Monday, so like I kind of emptied the clip. I know I'm saying I should have saved one, but like that's a once weekly thing, so yeah. I just kind of let it spray.
I never know what happens with you on a day-to-day basis, so you might be teed off about something. So
yeah, no, everything's been good the last 48 hours.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great. You're whelmed.
Yeah, we've been having a good week.
Did we ever get to the bottom, by the way, of the camera in the shower here?
I was told they were getting rid of that. I'm never going back in there, so I won't know.
You want to fill the people in on exactly what happened?
I mean, this was, I'm sure everyone saw. I went to take a shower after playing basketball here one morning because Brandon gets here early to do mostly sports, and he was like, I'm here at 8. Come at 8 and we'll like get shots up. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to come at 8, nobody gets here till 10 at least. I was like, I'll just play for a while, and like there's a shower here. I'll just shower and change. Mm-hmm. And we have a camera in the shower because that's what we do, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Kind of wet wheel. Content factory.
Yeah. And so then apparently it was like on when I took a shower, and then I think they're getting rid of it. I don't know. I don't care.
Not recording, but on.
Well, people say that it was recorded. If someone had been here in the control room where we have like the eagle eye thing, they would have seen it. So it was recording. It didn't save the recording.
It was broadcasting.
It doesn't exist anymore.
It was broadcasting closed circuit in the office, but it was not being recorded.
Sure.
But fortunately, nobody saw.
It's
apparently.
Okay.
Also,
you got a pretty good lawsuit, Big T. You really could stack it up. What?
What's the second?
Rico?
You got a bunch of... It's like...
There are some people out there who are lucky I'm not a litigious individual.
Yeah. Also, by the time this comes out, our dozen match will have come out.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Listen, you guys played a great game.
We played the experts. Macrodosing played the experts, and we lost by... Oh, spoiler. Lost by 1 point.
You guys played a great game.
We did.
We just got fire at the end.
People aren't talking enough about how I knew the NBA question and no one else did.
Yeah, you got that one.
Yeah,
You know-
I'm going to rest on that one for a while.
You know, pal.
I know, pal.
All right, let's do voicemails. And apologies if you have a question for Arian. Arian had to duck out. He's having a family issue right now. I think everything's fine, though, right?
Yep.
It's all fine, but he had to run out, basically as we started the episode. So that's why Arian was not here today.
I know there's a couple questions that I keep getting that Arian needs to answer. But
Okay.
What's up, Macrodosing Pod? This is Nick from Colorado Springs. Just wanted to call in and get your thoughts on the game of the century. Of course, I'm referring to Iowa versus Tennessee. I'm a big Iowa fan. A couple storylines I'm watching. Can they put up 134 to keep the 25 points per game for Brian? Or otherwise, would it be possible for them to beat Tennessee without scoring any offensive points? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Go Hawks. Stay gorgeous. Love you guys.
Big T, I'm going to kick that one to you.
It's going to be like such an awful game to watch. The Nebraska-Iowa game was the first Iowa game I sat down and watched this year because I took Iowa money line. And it was like, it almost was an enjoyable experience because it was so ridiculous. But yeah, I'm not really like both of those teams had like Iowa went 10-3, which is good. They didn't beat anybody. Tennessee went 8-4, which is mid, didn't really beat anybody. So whoever wins this game will have finally picked up a decent win. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Is this going to be the best win of the year for either program?
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee's best win is probably at Kentucky, and Iowa's best win is, I mean, I don't even know. It may be Nebraska. They lost the 3 games they played against good teams. So yeah, it's in Orlando. That's cool. It's the game because last year there was the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl and then the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yep.
But now the Cheez-It Bowl is the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So this is Cheez-It's lone bowl game.
Yeah.
So we get big. All of the cheese. And Florida New Year's bowl game. It's a good thing to have.
It is.
I think it's gonna be a horrible football game. I think UT's gonna win like 17-7.
Yeah, Iowa's got a great defense. Their
defense is awesome, and I feel so bad for those guys because they are like one of the best, if not the best, defense in the country, and their team just gets shit on because their offense is so horrible.
It's like the best defense in the country and the worst offense in the country on the same team.
Literally,
it's incredible.
It's pretty crazy. I'm gonna be very upset if they score. I'll set the line at 10.5. I'll give them 10. If they score an 11th point, I will be upset.
10 points would be a lot too. Maybe defensive touchdown.
I won't even count defensive.
Okay.
Just offense.
Yeah, if they score more than 1 touchdown.
Oh, if they score 2 touchdowns, we suck.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really bad.
Yeah.
Iowa football is so fun.
Did you see the bar in Cedar Rapids, what they did the other day?
I did, yeah.
Did you see they're doing it again?
Beer's free until Iowa scores?
Yeah, they're doing it again for the Citrus Bowl.
That's insane.
I guess they're how are they justifying that? Like people come in and they'll
to
order shots maybe?
To be fair, they have gotten probably a shit ton of money and free publicity, but I did a little digging. So it's a golf simulator bar. You have to have reserved a bay in the thing already.
Okay.
So you
which
do have
costs money.
Right, but then you get free beer until which also like so it's not like a bar that you're going to watch the game because like anybody that really cares isn't going to like hit golf balls during the game. So I guess it's just people who are like, "Oh, we'll go and just hopefully get free beer and hopefully Iowa doesn't score."
Still a good deal.
Yeah.
It's a great deal. But yeah, they are paying by the hour for the bays.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're running that back.
Important fact. I think I'm going to just root for the over. I've lost so much money on Iowa.
What is the total? Is it like 30?
It's got to be higher than that,
37
right?
maybe. It starts with a 3. It's definitely not into the 40s.
It does start with a 3. I'm going to look it up right now.
I'm checking.
Okay, yeah, let me know. But I'm going to take the over just because I have to win one of these. I have to.
The total in that game is 35.5.
35. Okay, easy. Tennessee's going to score.
You think that? We also don't know who's playing quarterback.
My logic going into the last game was Michigan's going to score 28. I need Iowa to score 1 touchdown.
And they sure didn't.
And this 35.5 is scary because I think Tennessee could score 28 points. I believe
that hook is?
Yeah, the hook is. I might buy it down to 35. All right.
I would guess not.
Gotcha.
We have one more. You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do another one.
Okay.
Hey, Macrodosing. This is Rick Cullen from Massachusetts. I'm a 7-time AWL and just started diving into your podcast this year and really enjoyed the variety you guys provide of topics and personalities. I have one question and one comment. My question is, do any of the guys sit down while they pee? I'm 31 years old, and lately, between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. while I'm asleep, if I ever have to wake up, walk to the bathroom, and I'll sit down to pee. It's easier than turning the light on and having to aim at all. And then a comment is, I'm not sure which girl it is, but whenever Billy says something outlandish, one of them belts out in laughter. And it really gets me going. And, I find myself laughing with you. So just wanted to let you know I enjoy your podcast, and stay handsome and stay beautiful. Bye.
I think that's usually Mad Dog.
That is
McKenzie
usually.
does it too, but I think the one that you hear all the time is sometimes Mad Dog will just go, Billy,
Yeah.
like reprimanding him.
Yeah, that's me.
But to the overall question, sitting down to pee, hand up, I agree with what this guy's saying 100%. If that makes me less of a man, so be it. Late at night, early in the morning, don't feel like standing up to pee, don't feel like watching where it's going, I'll sit my ass down. It's relaxing.
So at night, when I'm at home, 100% of the time, sit.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm at home, not at night, I'd say it's 50-50. And then in public, never.
Yeah, I never go to a stall in
Right.
public. But if it's in my own house, if it's at night, yeah, you bet your sweet ass I will sit down occasionally.
I'll just and then I'll just sit there for a while.
Yeah,
I'll just be on my phone.
it's comfortable.
Yeah, I'll just chill for a little bit.
Why did sitting down to pee get such a bad rap? Billy.
Didn't they I think in the military, in a certain military, they used to make all the dudes sit down to pee because it made the bathrooms cleaner.
Makes sense. It does keep for a cleaner bathroom.
Does it?
Yeah, because we get lazy sometimes and we don't aim as well as we should.
Oh wait, I was thinking opposite. I was like, I thought you meant it's cleaner if you stand to
No,
pee. I was like, no, you guys piss everywhere.
Yeah, we piss everywhere.
Yeah.
The grossest, this is a low-key gross part about dudes' bathrooms, is the spot that's like right in front of the urinal where the guy like drips.
A small puddle.
There's a
does
small
develop.
puddle that forms about like 6 inches on the ground in front of the urinal. And yeah, that's just sometimes.
Well, it's okay because your feet are on either side, so it's fine.
I just gagged. That's so nice.
Sometimes guys either overestimate their accuracy or they underestimate the distance to the toilet, if that makes sense, that the pee has to travel.
I'm so happy I'm a girl.
Like, why are you so bad at it?
It's not. It's
Laziness.
when you're like done and there's a couple drops left and you gotta like
Don't you?
gotta shake it off.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't you have to shake it?
Shake it.
And then, and like sometimes it rolls out.
Yeah.
Do you have that at your house, a puddle?
No. I mean, there's probably been one at
But
my
now,
house
PFT,
at
tell
some
me if
point.
you do this. So if I'm standing to piss in my house, as the stream starts to weaken,
Yep.
I have to shuffle forward
Yeah, sometimes,
to make sure
yeah.
it all stays in the bowl.
Sometimes what I'll do if it's a real solid pee, if I got high velocity, I'll start backing up. I'll start backpedaling from the toilet.
Oh, yeah, I've had to do
And,
that
and,
too.
and you can see how far you can go to make it
Yeah.
in. I've been probably 5 feet away from the toilet. Dead ass accuracy. Right,
That's sick.
right down Main Street. And then, but the trick with that is you have to back up as you're peeing, and then you have to walk back
And then
forward, close the distance, and then you got to do the thing where you flush the toilet at the time where you expect your pee is going to stop. So you like waste the least amount of time
That's
possible.
fun.
Where you time it out, so it's like, okay, my stream is stopping soon. Let's flush it now, and I'm done peeing and the toilet's flushing.
Now we can all agree the best piss is you turn the shower on as you're waiting for the water to get the right temperature. You just let it spray.
Yeah, in the tub or in the shower.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
just free.
Yep, you don't have to aim anything.
Nope.
Like the walls?
Well,
I hit every wall.
Are you
if it's a wall that has water going down it, yeah, why not?
Most of the walls in like a tub aren't getting a lot of water.
I won't pee into like a dry spot and let my pee sit there. But if
That's what I'm.
if it's a place that's getting irrigated from the shower,
Sounds like Big T is.
No, so okay, I would have to draw a diagram for you to show you. So it's a walk-in shower, and you open. I'd have to show you, but no, it's just getting
You have a
taken
walk-in
into the
shower?
drain.
I have a walk-in
Yeah.
shower
damn,
too.
you're rich, Big T.
I have a nice apartment.
Yeah.
I have a walk-in shower. Don't you have a walk-in? Do you have a walk-in? Or
No,
do you
I
have
have,
a tub?
I have a tub.
I have a walk-in.
Have you guys seen the bathrooms that just have open showers?
It's crazy.
Oh, every hotel now, there's no shower door.
I hate
Yeah.
that. Or you have the half door
door.
that's glass that you
Yep.
just know somebody's going to
Yep.
walk into at some point.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, good question. That was a great question. Billy, you didn't weigh in.
I'm very sorry. My dog started barking.
So you want to answer the question?
Do I sit down to pee? No.
Yeah. Never.
I have in very, very dire circumstances
What does that mean?
where I couldn't stand or I was gonna pass out.
Got it. So like after a boxing match.
At the bar.
No, like I don't know, when you're just really sore
Yeah.
or
But if it's leg day.
not that regularly, more like I don't know, like you're really sick and you're like getting out of bed and you're just like, I can't stand in aim right now.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Billy sits to pee. Confirmed.
Like not usually.
All right. Well,
Cool.
thank you guys for tuning in to Macrodosing. Shout out to Mike for putting together the fact sheet. We used a lot of that stuff
Thank you,
this
Mike.
episode. It was very helpful, and it helped us get a lot of stuff out that I think we probably would have glossed over or gotten incorrect. So we're trying to limit our factual errors on this show. It's a resolution. We will see you guys next Tuesday for nanodosing, and then next Thursday for macrodosing on a heater. All right, love you guys, and also tune in to Surviving Barstool
Yes.
and to The Dozen for
Yes.
when the experts play against macrodosing.
Yeah.
If you haven't already watched it,
Surviving Barstool, you see a very, very interesting side of PFT.
Mad Dog is like honestly upset with me.
No, I'm not.
The
I'm
first
not
thing
upset.
the first thing she said when I sat down was like, "I've never seen you like that, PFT."
I just haven't. It's not that I'm upset. I'm more impressed that you can channel your energy like that. You're so nice that I never thought you like could do something like conniving.
Well, it wasn't really that conniving. I was just saying we got to eliminate Tommy and Gaz, and the way that me, Rico, and Jerry stick together is if they don't get the immunity idol.
No,
So,
just in general too. Like you're way more conniving on this show than I.
I don't know if I'm conniving because I never lied to anybody on the show. They didn't show
That is
They
true.
didn't show that in the confessional, but
Yeah, you're pretty straightforward.
a couple things I was saying in the confessional they have not put in the show. One of which is like my overall strategy for the game. They haven't like talked about that. I kind of understand why they haven't. I won't share too much of it.
You've told us that makes sense.
Yeah. And then the conniving part, I'm just like, I'm not lying to anybody. I'm just, if I'm voting against somebody, I'll tell them. But I'm using the relationships and the connections and showing the path to the best outcome possible for everybody involved. It's just fun. Turns out I really like Survivor. I've never watched it, but I like playing it, and I think I'm going to get into watching it too.
You're really good at it so far, from what I've seen.
Thank you. It's been fun.
I don't know what happens on Wednesday night's episode, but
I won't say anything, but you should watch it. If not now, then watch it when it comes out for free.
yeah.
But it is $10 on barstool.tv.
Dozen is free though.
Dozen is free. I was about to say it always will be. You never know. I don't think that Dozen has any plans to make pay-per-view out of anything.
No, that doesn't just cost our like emotional stability.
It does.
From time to time.
It does. Yeah, it's tough. It's like that. Losing at trivia is like losing a bad bet in terms of where your psyche goes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why nobody's having babies at Barstool Sports.
That might be it.
That might be. Yeah. Weird that Kate had a baby. She's not on a dozen team.
Interesting. Oh, okay. So I didn't say this on PMT. I thought about it, but I withheld it. I'll share it here. I'm good friends with Kate and with Beeve. Pat is one of my oldest friends. And before the Jaguars game on Monday Night Football, Pat texted me. He said, we're watching the game with Cash right now. That's their oldest. And Trevor Lawrence was on the field before the game, and Cash pointed at the screen and said, "Uncle Eric."
Hell yeah!
I'll take that. I'll take that as a glow up. Like that's big for me.
That's cute.
Trevor Lawrence is what, like 6'4", 6'3",
Maybe 5.
6'5". He's that tall? Fuck yeah!
I think.
All right, huge moment for me. Thought I was a 6'5" guy. I'm very tall compared to a 3-year-old, or 2.5-year-old.
It's true.
Basically a giant. All right, well, we'll see you guys next week. Love you guys.